Ah, yes, yes. We are back at it again. Your boy E-Man, my man.
Jim
You're
from the
first. You're
Fan in the
first.
Van
We
podcast.
are going to introduce Brett with more of a. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, obviously we got Brent with us tonight. We had to. It's the start of baseball season, and what better than to bring in the man, the myth, the legend himself, Brent from 1420 Sports, the Yankee fan from the North,
There we
We the
which
go.
North.
which honestly surprises me. I never met a person from Canada who actually likes the Yankees. You
There's
got to be one of whatever the population is up there.
there's about six of us now because the Jays went as far as they did last year. But yeah,
Yep.
there isn't many. But it's funny, E-Man. You said before we went live, no glitches, and then Jim lost his tongue the first thing we
Yeah.
started to talk. So
I
and
told you
and,
it
and
happened.
that's really hard for Jim to do. That usually doesn't happen with the whole fan of the van there. Yeah,
No, they don't. It was a bit of a cold start.
there you go. It happens. How you boys doing? Been a while.
Yep.
Man, go good, baby. Baseball, it's alive and well. Yankee season is in full effect. Everything's been good personally. I was telling Jim I was up in New York, man. I took my family there. My kids visited for the first time, and I couldn't wait to get fucking back home. You know what I'm saying? And I miss my palm trees. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the back, I miss the weather. I was a pussy at 38-degree weather over there. I felt it was like freezing cold as shit. And nah, man, I'm had some good times, but I'm glad I'm back home.
What did you like about New York besides not much?
Nah, man, it was good. I went back to the old neighborhood, show my kids where I grew up, all that good stuff. Shout out to McCormick. He's in the Rumble chat already, blowing it up. But it was like it was great to kind of reminisce. The same potholes are still there, right? Because I actually drove the last day. It was great to see a crackhead in the middle of the street up in Times Square, all cracked out and just, doing crazy shit. My kids are like, "Whoa, Dad, what is going on?" Kids, drugs are bad. And then I'm like, a cop car passes by, and I was like, and my daughter's like, "Oh, good, there's the police." I was like, "Nah, they gotta keep going." Boom, the police keeps going, and they're like,
Yep.
they're not used to that. I'm like, guys, they're part of the entertainment. You know what I mean? So nothing's really changed.
Bigger fish to fry than a crackhead in Times Square.
Exactly. So nothing really much has changed, but more buildings, more lights. You know what I mean? And same old crazy ass people, man. So pizza's still amazing. My wife would talk shit about the pizza because you have it here. And they're like, yeah, it tastes normal. When she had the first bite, we went to Ray's, ran Times Square, and she was like, oh shit. She's now a believer. She's telling her pops over here, New York pizza's the best. I'm like, no, it's bullshit. I was like, no. When you go to New York, you gotta try New York slice, like from a spot. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
It's a complete different thing for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
People try to duplicate and they
Nah,
can't.
man. Nah, man.
You can never. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what Pizza Boy Portnoy says. New York's got the best pizza, not New Haven, Connecticut, not Boston, not Florida, not
Florida,
anywhere.
bro. Florida
It's
pizza's
in New
horrible.
York, not even California.
Oh, no, fuck California, dude. They don't know
They
for
try
pizza.
and they can't.
Yeah. Their pizza's different. They put tofu and shit on it.
It's kind of like the Mets. They
Yeah.
try to win and they just can't.
Jim, you bring up Portnoy there. I have never, other than Spit and Chicklets, which the hockey guys, I've never set eyes or ears on a Barstool podcast, website, article, nothing. And I don't know who this guy is. Like, I see his pizza things on Twitter, and that's it. I don't know who this guy is. And maybe that's just a me thing. I don't know.
Maybe he's not big around in your area.
I just don't. Okay, right on, man.
He has a big company. He has a lot of different podcasts. Yeah. Some of them are good and some of them are real shitty. And the guy, yeah, I mean, and it's funny because he started kind of like what we're doing here. Three people just talking shit on online on a blog, and then sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't, man. And then lucky enough to sell his company for a bunch of money and then get it back for $1 from ESPN.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Now I remember that part of it. Yeah, but I don't know who the guy is. If you used to walk in down to my basement, you're like, hey man, how are you? Like whatever. So good on him for making it. But
yeah, man.
Right.
How are you, Brent? How's everything over there, man? How's how the Bulls?
Things are really good. Baseball season's jumping up, so we got busy as all hell as usual.
Yeah.
Did a podcast this morning. Interviewed. I don't know if you guys remember this guy's name, Kevin Pillar. Played for
Jays.
Yeah, he played for the Jays in 2015.
Shit, yeah.
We're bringing him up for a banquet here. He's a fundraiser, blah, blah,
nice,
blah.
Man.
So I had a 15-minute BS session with him this morning. That was interesting. And
that's nice.
Pretty good guy. He was traveling around, so it cut out. So we'll have to do a little bit of repair. But no, it was interesting. It was pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, things are per Norm, Bernie the Wonder Mutt, our dog is a little prick, but whatever. He's a little asshole. About a week ago right now, I came downstairs to grab a beer out of the beer fridge. My wife went out back, and we left 2 steaks in the counter. And I went. I was there 2 minutes. I wasn't down here 2 minutes. I went upstairs, and that little prick gone. 2 of them just gone. He didn't. There wasn't remnants of anything. There was nothing. All you could see was maybe some paw prints on the stove where we're marinating ready, and that was it. Gone. Like little prick. He had sore gut for a couple of days and had the runs when it all started.
Yeah.
He was fine.
They don't know better.
My dog is the same way, man. He fucking eats everything that falls on the ground, dude. If not, you got to be careful. Within arm's reach, he'll jump on it and get it.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm like, you asshole, dude. You got like. Well, sometimes I'm like, dude, you want to kill yourself, right? Because I mean, it doesn't matter if it's food or not. He'll go crazy for it. You know what I'm saying? You drop a piece, like my son. He's a big Legos. He likes to build Legos left and right. I'm like, dude, stop leaving the fucking pieces around. Because you know what happens? One day, he dies. I'm not getting another one. All right, I already paid enough for this little bastard. You know what I'm saying, dude? Because we're all allergic to fucking dog in the house, and I'm the one that has to find the one that's the least hypoallergenic out of everybody. And I'm
like you were saying, Jim. They don't know better.
No, they don't know better.
Like he forgot about why he had a gut ache, but an hour after he things like, whatever.
Looking at you like it's fucking. Then they throw up all over the house when they eat some shit the night before. Then they go shit all over there.
It's just what it is.
You know what the sad part is, and I love that bastard more than anything else.
Oh yeah, he was my best friend the second we brought him home. So
dude, he's like, I get welcome at the door by him, not by anybody else. You know what I mean? Every day I come home, it's like, oh man. All right, guys, but listen, man, Yankees start the season 2-0. We start out with 2 lights out pitching performances, right? You know what I mean? And the wake here of waiting for our ace, Garrett Cole. I mean, first of all, you guys are the experts. What is where are we at with that with Garrett Cole? What is the forecast? I know I heard Boone say that they're waiting for his velocity and strength, and he's ready to go. But what we got going on here? What is that in your world? What do you hear about Garrett Cole coming back?
I'm hearing June.
June?
That's what I keep hearing.
Really?
That's
that late,
the month he comes back. Could be earlier, but
that if they can keep getting starts like this out of these guys, they're winning right now 2-0 time recording this.
Look at that
live here, but they're if I would leave him out as long as you can because you think about it, last year they tied for the division with 94 wins without him. And now you keep going, and then you don't want to set a guy in too soon. I would just let him just get because nobody knows his body better than him. Don't rush it. If you can bring him back in June, that's a trade line acquisition you're not going to get anywhere else, and it didn't cost you anything, right? So I would have him just sit as long as you can, make sure he's 100+%, and just ease him into things, and then get the flow of things for him because he's definitely. He hasn't pitched in a year and a half, so we don't know what he's going to get. But I mean, you think of Garrett Cole at 75% still better than half the league, and I think it'd be dumb to rush him into this situation at this point.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, if we can get the performance we got out of Fried opening night, we get the performance we got out of Schlittler, whoever they're throwing out there tonight, whoever they throw out there Monday night. If you could do that on a 4-man rotation till he comes back, if you could bring him back in July, that would be even better because then he'll be fully ready. And then that's pretty much right around the deadline. And like Brent said, that is like trading for somebody without giving up anything. So I mean, I would do that. I would do that if you can get that performance. But we know this Yankee medical staff. They're not the brightest bulbs in the lamp.
And you got to count with the fact that when he gets back, he's still going to need at least 4 starts to take the rust, get the rust off.
Well, he's still going to have to go through the minor league process. They'll probably send
even
him
after
to
that.
Somerset. He'll pitch a game or 2 there, just whatever, to sell some tickets up there, and then they'll bring him back because they're not just going to throw him out there right away.
No.
He's going to have to. He's going to have the rehab assignments, whether it's 2 starts, 3, whatever it is. He'll have to do that. So
and even in the majors, he'll need a few starts before he gets control, velocity.
I'm just waiting for the first start where
majors.
he isn't himself. I'm waiting for the start where he's not himself, and the moronic Yankee fan who doesn't know better says, see, we rushed him back. And it'll be like in August when he has a bad start. We should have waited longer.
But wait for what?
How long are you going to wait? Well, this is what I got to deal with when I do my episodes on the Yankees. You don't know how many moronic messages I get. All week I've been getting them.
Like, and that's the thing about Yankee fans and baseball fans in general is that every pitcher gets hurt.
Yeah.
Everybody is one pitch away from their elbow blowing up, and no matter what. And even if you get Tommy John, there's guys who've had 2 and 3 goes. That Evaldi's on, I think, his third. When they get hurt, it just happens. That the arm's not supposed to bend that way. So why people are surprised when this shit happens time after time after time?
Mm-hmm.
It's that's what's going to happen. Like you look at with the Jays. That Savage kid who was great in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
They didn't even start the season with him and say, no, you're going to go. We're going to lean you back in, because you're going to get hurt again no matter what. Now, I don't know if that's the proper way of doing it because maybe guys got to throw more and their arms got to get stronger. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV and all that bullshit. But you just, okay, what's the proper way? I don't know. Maybe don't try to throw a million miles an hour. Maybe be and we talked about this last year, probably the exact same thing. Be a pitcher instead of a thrower. I mean, that's something that gets lost a lot with baseball today because velocity is everything.
Yep.
I don't know what the proper situation is, but it's you can't just ease these guys in because I don't know about you guys, but if I had an extra $40 million laying around, I'm paying a guy, he better be fucking ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's and you're you hate to say this out loud, but why not? Like, how many more years of Judge do we have? How many more years of Bellinger do you got? And like Stanton, he's a tin man, like we talked about 1,000 times, Jim.
Yeah.
When's he gonna finally break down? Like he's got 1 more year on his contract. I think. After this.
I can't wait for that.
He's already broken down. The guy can't open up a bag of chips.
Yeah.
What happened there?
It's something I don't understand because how can you not open up a bag of chips, but you could swing a bat at 100+ miles an hour and your elbow just doesn't pop out? I don't. It's one of those things. I don't even understand it. Like I can't even come up with a reasoning to how or why this even happened. But somehow he could swing a bat. I don't know. It's the weirdest medical thing I've seen yet in baseball.
Well, he has 5 hits already in the season, dude. I mean, he started out the first 3 games like a house of fire. This is the Stanton that we're getting, and then after that, he's gonna be gone for like another 60 games. So this is like right now where we're getting the best version of Stanton right now to start the season, and you know what's gonna happen because this is what we get.
But going back to the pitching part of it, in our era of baseball, like when we were all younger, and like people that watch now, when we were their age, how many Tommy John surgeries did you hear about? None.
I heard about Tommy John's, and that was it.
Yeah.
Very, very few pitchers had Tommy John.
Yeah.
It wasn't as common.
We're taught to pitch and how to use the corners and how to use velocity here. Pitch guys like Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Steve Avery, Tom Glavine. The last pitcher you'll see that could frame pitches will be the guys of Pettit and CC Sabathia.
Yeah.
And that's
even
based off Yankees.
David Wells too was one of those guys that didn't throw hard, low 90s, but can also had a crazy ass slider and can also hit corners. That's
now everyone. If they're not throwing 105, then these fans go, you're not a good pitcher. It's not about velocity. It's never been. It's the art of pitching is that it's an art form. You have to it's about. There's so many things that go into pitching, and these young kids are taught, and maybe they're taught bad going even in high school, where it's just throw the fastest you can.
That's what it is, and I think because they're
Tommy John surgeries even in high school baseball now.
That's what it is. I think in the lower levels, high school especially, when your arm is still developing, I think that's what's happening. They're overexhausting their arms. Back in the day, you couldn't throw a curve when you were in high school. That they didn't allow you to do that. You practiced it, but they didn't allow you to do it in a game. You were not supposed to do it in the game, but it's one of those things. I think these kids are like they early on in their life, they're exhausting their ligaments and their arms a lot quicker and faster than they should. Because remember, dude, when you were like 16, 17, you're 15 and you were a phenom throwing 90 miles an hour, bro. 50, the average. I remember this, man. Playing ball in high school, the average fastball was like in the 70s. If you had a dude clocking 85. That was rare. You know what I mean? If you had a dude clocking over 90, holy crap, he's going to the majors. You know what I mean? That was just the way it was. The average fastball, a pitcher in my team would throw like 75. That was his fastball. You know what I mean? That's what it was mainly because you have so many different leagues and schools and stuff like that. But nowadays, man, you got these kids who are developing at 14 and 15 and they're clocking 95, 96. shit, man, their arm is still developing. You're still growing. Muscles are developing. Ligaments are developing. And that's when, like they tell you, don't, when you do exercise, you got to be careful how you do certain things and how do you live, because you could tear something. That's what's happening. The wear and tear is happening early on, a lot sooner, starting to get there a lot sooner and early.
It doesn't make a bunch of sense, because if you ask a college coach if he could get a pitcher to throw 3 ground ball outs to start an inning, get one pitch, they'd rather have that than a guy striking out the side.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Nine pitches compared to 3, your pitch counts down, you go out again. Like it doesn't make any sense. So maybe it's not even the coaching; it's just the kids and the parents and these organizations that are pushing for this stuff. I don't know how we're going to this conversation, but maybe they're pushing to that because the games don't even matter to these kids playing so much. The kids are playing for themselves, not for their high school or their team anymore. Because they want the stats, they want this, they want that are up on Stat Track or whatever, TrackMan, and it doesn't even matter. And so now you have these guys who are making $30-40 million a year, and the Golden Dome's out there for these parents, and then what? Like, you can't blame them, but you can kind of blame them.
At the end of the day, they spend so much money also on outside coaching and training. It's expensive, dude. It's like the parents that can afford it. Like baseball used to be one of the cheapest sports to send your kid. Yeah. Now it's one of the most expensive sports, right next to basketball and football. You know what I mean? Between not just in especially travel ball, because you get into a certain level, now you're doing travel ball and you're traveling, and then you're paying for extra shit in hotels, and then a lot of the parents that can afford it are sending this kid to so-and-so who used to be a former, he got a cup of tea with the Marlins or a cup of tea with the Mets and the Yankees, but this guy now has his own academy where he trains these kids, you know what I mean? And a lot of pitchers and all that kind of stuff. And that is insanely expensive. So a lot of the parents are like, hey, listen, man, I'm paying a lot of money, man. So you better do whatever they tell you. And if they tell you to do this, you got to do that, regardless of safety or health. So yeah, parents come into play a lot of that, a lot in that scenario, like you just said, Brent. Absolutely.
Like you wonder, like how it's our generation of parents who are doing it. Like that's the funny thing, right? It's guys who are our age and maybe a little bit younger who are paying all this money, and you're like, well, there's only this many spots in the world, anyways. So what are we doing? And I just don't know. I don't get it. And like you said, and a hotel isn't $85-95 with the Motel 6 down the street anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And when sometimes with the tournaments in an area, everybody's, it's a group rate that they're getting from like the coach is setting this up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're forced to stay there. It's crazy, dude. I mean, it's like my kids didn't get the athletic bug that I did. And I always had a rule, right? I said to myself, I will expose them to them, but if they show interest, yes, I'm going to pursue. They don't show any interest, I am not going to force them on them. I put my kid to, hit a ball with a tee. He was like, fuck this shit, I don't like it. My son, my daughter, has certain challenges. She can't do a lot of physical stuff, but she's into the arts. So, she performs and sings. My son, all he wants to do is just karate. You know what I mean, dude? And that's also expensive as shit, for the damn studio. But it's like, I look at the average price. And there's parents that, will make their kids, and the kids will be like, I'm not interested, but they'll force their kids to play baseball because I played it. You know what I mean? That kind of crap. You know what I mean? Or any other sport. No, I'm going to go in and spend the money. I'm going to send you to I-9, and I'm going to, send you to a private guy so he could teach you the game and all that kind of shit. Because I'll be honest with you, the kids don't listen to their parents when it comes to coaching. They listen to a complete stranger first. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they spend the money and they force it on the kid, and the kid will do it for 12 years without saying, damn, I didn't want to do this shit in the first place.
Yeah, you wonder when it all changed. Mm-hmm. Like you wonder when it all changed from, like, it had to have trickled down from the professional ranks down to college, down to amateur. Like you wonder,
it's combination.
When did it change? Like when did it become this? I don't have the answer for that, but it's just
me neither.
You just go, well, that seems a bit odd, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway,
I know the business to be in is definitely sports therapy and freaking if you're a surgeon, man, make sure you know how to do Tommy John, bro. It's a big moneymaker now. You know what I mean? It's a big moneymaker, man.
I remember when I played Little League. Shit, you're going back. I think it cost like $75.
Yeah, for the season,
to
bro.
play Little League
for the season.
And all you did was the $75 paid for the uniform and whatever else. I mean, the bat, the glove, and everything else. Your cleats, your cup, whatever. That was all on you. But that $75 went to helmets. It went to other stuff that the league's got to provide for you. And now I'm sure it's triple that.
No,
not
dude,
4 to 5 times more than that.
It's average price. I saw an article was about over $2,000.
Now every kid's got his own bat. Now every kid's got his own gloves. They've all got 2 pairs of sunglasses.
Yep.
They've all got those sliding mitts. They've all got 3 different pairs of cleats because Some places have this. Some
Yep.
places,
The bag is like
Oh.
$200. You know, it's
yeah,
Stop
and it's
those
like, what
flogging,
the
man.
hell? And the kid can't catch a fucking fly ball.
no.
Like,
It
that
is
doesn't make you any better.
no.
Like, it's absolute insanity. And they've all
No.
got 10 different pairs of shorts and shirts and blah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. It's just expensive too, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
it's expensive. Whether and I gotta tell people, I'm like, your kids are gonna, especially when you're in little league, right? You're growing so quickly. They're gonna outgrow the glove. You're gonna outgrow the damn, cleats. You're gonna grow everything else that you buy. So it's like you're buying it every year. You're buying new cleats every year. You're buying new, maybe 2% of cleats, depending on how much your kid grows from his foot. You know what I mean? His foot grows. And dude, it's insane, man. It's insane. I got a buddy of mine. His kid is actually really good. He's my godson. He plays a lot. I think he's not like 12, and he started him like he was 8, and he's doing travel baseball, and now he's pitching, and he's really good. I mean, his pops played ball with me back in the day. He's better athlete than I was, baseball wise. But and it's funny, he doesn't. We live 10 minutes away, and we grew up since like we know each other 7th grade. I barely see him now. I think I see him maybe twice a year, because every weekend there's something going on, and then he's in travel baseball, so they're traveling another weekend. It's like, dude, he's like, nah, man. I'm like, I go to work, I take him to practice. You know what I mean? And then we just travel every weekend. We have games, and if we're not traveling, we're here. But there's games both days. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I told Dave, but he tells me, look, I enjoy it because he's enjoying it. The day that he says no, I'd be more than happy to say, okay, we're done. You know what I mean? Get my life back.
I don't know if I had a son, I don't know if I could do that. I'd be like, no, we're not giving up on this. Like, nah, I'm already investing all this money. Like, I would be that parent that's like, nah, you're gonna stick this out. I already invested this money in it.
I think you also got to look at what the potential is, right? In my game, when I was in Little League and about Pony, I destroyed fucking game, right? But I'm 5'8", right? When I got to high school and I'm trying out for the baseball team, all these Dominican kids, who, by the way, they were not really 14 or 15. They were older than that. All right. They're fucking fake papers, but they were all like 6'2".
I am 12.
And I'm like, yeah, nah, dude. In New York, you know how it is in New York. New York, dude, it's like, depending where you play, bro, a lot of these kids, that's how they get out of the country, right? They got these scouts that, hey, man, I'm going to take you out of the country. You're going to get fake papers and you're going to play. That Donny Almonte shit is real. I could vouch. It's 100% real, dude. And that's been happening forever, man. That is not a secret, dude. You know what I'm saying? They breed. Now it's a little different because you got minor league teams over there, and you could just groom them in DR. And the Yankees are signing people now, and all the baseball team, they have all minor leagues in all the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? Every team in Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, they have every team also almost has a facility. Yeah. They find these kids, they sign them at 14 for like 10 grand, which is a lot more money than wherever the hell they're coming from, or 20 grand. They bring them into the academy, they house them, they clothe them, they train them, they teach them English, that kind of stuff, instead of bringing them to the United States. But back in the day, that wasn't there. Like in the 80s and 90s, nah, bro. If you had a scout, like, yo, let's, you're bringing them in like so-and-so's, birth certificate. The guy is really 16 or 18, and no, he's 14 in the United States. That was a real thing. And they're playing and they're destroying baseball in high school. You know what I mean? And that's how you get signed. But yeah, that's a reality, bro. Whoever tells you it's not true is fuck that shit. I lived it. I knew like 7 of them. You know what I mean? And they would tell me, nah, bro, I'm really like 17. But dude, you're a freshman.
Well, Danny Almonte out there throwing like 103 mile an hour heaters. Yeah, he's 14. Yeah, okay.
It was freaking destroying those kids. But yeah, genetics plays a part of it when I think you need to stop, especially in all sports. To me, it is. You mean, when you're like sizing yourself up, you're like, that's it. There's not a lot of old people in my family. I got to 5'8", and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna get a part-time job because I want a car. And I'll focus into going to college or something on not on the baseball merit, because
I might want to touch a boob before I'm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, listen, I was pretty fucking popular, bro. I had it going on and shit. You know what I mean? So I was like, I just need a car, just to like, so I'm gonna work, part time after work, after school. Fuck baseball. You know what I mean? It's not gonna pay the bills, and I just gotta focus on the ladies after that. You know what I mean? But that's the other thing, man. You invest all this money, but at one point, if the genetics are not there, it's hard to make it, dude. It's hard to make it if you don't have the physicality, bro. If you don't have the height, you don't have the, you don't have the strength. I mean, yeah, you could be a little guy, but dude, it's I'm telling you, man, I've seen baseball players who were short and were not, they didn't have all the natural gifts, but they were great in high school, but they barely touch a junior college. Yeah. It's crazy.
Or you could quit in the middle of the game the way I did in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. Because a lot of the baseball coaches were the teachers.
Yeah, all of them were. Majority of them were,
playing, I'll never forget, we were playing Elmont. So the coach goes, I'm not going to start you. So I'm like, all right, whatever. He's like, I'll put you in later in the game. Now it's like the 4th inning. I'm like, all right, when do you put me in? and he had an issue with me. So I'm like, all right, I'm like, you're gonna put me in? I'm like,
Put me in, coach.
I'm like, come on. I'm like, this kid can't hit this pitch. All he does is throw fucking slow fastballs. I'm like, let me go up there and just crush one. Oh no, I found out that you're carrying this grade point average. I can't put you in. I go, that's bullshit. And right there, I just took the uniform off and I walked from Elmont back to New Hyde Park. I said, fuck this.
That's a long ass walk.
My mom goes, don't you have a game right now? I go, yeah, they do. I don't. I fucking left. The coach goes, I go to school that Monday, and the coach goes, what happened? I'm like, fuck you, fuck the team, and fuck this. And I didn't play baseball ever again after that.
That's typical fan in the van style right there, man. He's been having the style now since he was a kid, dude.
I'll show you, asshole. Yeah.
That's what I did.
Fuck me, no, fuck
still
you.
The Carteret, New Jersey home run derby champ, but whatever.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
I can still drive one. Like if somebody threw me a pitch right now, I could fucking take one 400.
I haven't swung a bat in ages, right? I played softball for a little bit right after, in New York we had the especially when you grew up in the five boroughs. Dude, there was the Bodega League. You know what I mean? There's all the little grocery stores and shit like that. They have a league. Yeah. They have the back in the day. They had the taxi cab league. The Liberty Cab ones. You had the restaurant league. You know what I'm saying? And all these motherfuckers would go play, and it was like a drunk fest because everybody's betting cases of beer. The damn the umpires were usually get hit under the table. It was madness, dude. It was madness. So the good thing about that is at the end of the game, bro, you're getting lit. Somebody owned a restaurant or a store, and everybody's going to the store getting fucking fucked up, afterwards. But did that for a little bit, and I stopped. I stopped playing baseball. Period, man. I mean, I play basketball too. That was my second organized sport that I used to play. I didn't get to more than just rec league and stuff like that. But that's a sport that I kept playing more after I left, leagues and stuff like that. And because I said, dude, I just lost the love for baseball. Once you just it's a beautiful sport, but it's also a pain in the ass sport, dude. That's you don't do much movement. It's just once you get to a point, they're like, man, I don't want to deal with this shit anymore, man. You know what I mean?
And mix slow pitches in baseball.
Yeah,
right. It's all right. It's fun, drink some beers, and cause then you get the odd asshat who takes it so seriously. We're playing for the World Series. They're like, okay, dude, right on. You're great.
That's the point you get, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what? 2-1 right now. The Yankees are still up. Let's talk a little bit about this season, guys. We talk about Garrett Cole. Love it. I'm hoping that he comes back, and he will come back this season. I want him to get ready. This team right now, right? Let's take a look at this lineup, right? We got Aaron Judge, which I mean, everybody needs to quiet down. Everybody knows that he doesn't get hot until like freaking May. All right. Giancarlo Stanton has been the hottest player right now. He has like 5 hits in the season, had another one today. Apart from these two guys, and we know that Giancarlo Stanton is probably going to end up being in the DL for most of the season. What do you think? This lineup, Jazz Chisholm, full season this year. Trent Grisham, had a great season last year. At shortstop right now, Caballero is in, right? For the injured gosh, I forget his name already because because he's just he's not forgettable. Austin Wells at catcher, right? Who played for the Dominican team. And then you got Ben Rice, McMahon at third, right? What do we think of this lineup offensively? Right, guys? How far can this lineup, knowing the injury history and Cody Bellinger, I forgot about Cody Bellinger, and the fact that we didn't do much to get a little more depth? What do you think this lineup offensively takes us, and how far?
I think that as long as Grisham can be half as good, because he overachieved.
Yes.
I don't think we can expect. I don't think anybody can expect that from him again.
Yep.
But if he can be half as good as he was last year, and so what would that be? 15 home runs.
Yep.
And then as long as you can keep Anthony Volpe down in wherever he's playing, rehabbing for as long as possible, the Yankees will win more games than they did last year. Yeah, you hate to blame an entire season on one guy and how it all pans out, but Anthony Volpe alone struck out so many times.
Yeah, man.
Bad defense. They tied for the division with 94 wins. If he is adequate instead of horse shit, the Yankees win 4 more games, win the division, don't have to play in the wild card round against Boston. You never know. Were they good enough to win a World Series? No, but you never know if you don't have to play that other round. You can actually, and this might be a stupid statement, but you can blame the Yankees' misfortune in 2025 on Anthony Volpe and why they continued Cashman and Boone and why they continue to stick with this kid when he just doesn't fucking got it. Like sometimes you can be wrong. I was wrong like at least 3 times this week. You admit it. Like you can be wrong. Just say you don't got it. Trade him, release him, whatever. I don't understand. We talked about Jim when we were in September. We were bitching about it, but why not? Why not just say the kid just isn't good enough? He's not a major league caliber player because you're not going to get anybody for him. Who's trading for the guy?
Nobody. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like it's all fine and dandy that we want this guy and this guy and this guy. Well, you got to give something up to get these guys. You don't have enough trade equity to do anything. And then the way the Yankees always hold on to guys and not get rid of them when you can. He did like Clint Frazier a few years ago. And do nothing with these guys. And then you go, well, we should have traded him a year ago. Well, you didn't. And now what? So now you're stuck with this piece of shit. Then you got to overpay him at arbitration and. Volpe, the longer he stays out, the more games the Yankees will win.
I think the way they handled Frazier, it's the same thing they're doing with Spencer Jones right now. This kid had all the hype in the minor leagues, and every trade proposal I seen during the deadline last year, they didn't want to give up. They didn't want to give up Spencer Jones. They didn't want to give up this guy. They didn't want to give up this guy. Okay, so you don't want to give these guys up. So at some point, when do we see Spencer Jones up here? When do we see what he is? And if he doesn't pan out, then guess what? Oh, back to 2017 when we could have traded Clint Frazier away to get Garrett Cole then instead of overpaying to get him in free agency. And it's gonna be the same thing. Cashman holds on to these guys like gold. Pennies and nickels. Like pennies and nickels are going out of style. And at some point, like Spencer Jones, this is the year I wanted to see what he is. We have to see what he is, because if he is going to be something, okay, then I can understand not trading him. But if he's nothing, think of all the pieces we could have gotten. Maybe those pieces would have got us not having to play in the wild card and then losing to the Blue Jays in the divisional round.
Because no one knows what a prospect is till you let him go. There's another guy. There's another guy that nobody knows who they are, because who watches the Somerset Patriots on a nightly basis? Nobody. Yeah. They just hear what talking heads say. Nobody knows. Bring him up, let's see what we can do. And you got to eventually showcase the kid against real pitching. See what he can do. And if he can't, he can't. No harm, no foul.
Listen, you did it with Volpe for 2 fucking seasons. What is it, 2 or 3? You know what I mean? It's like you did it with Volpe, right? You showcase him, you brought him up, and you forced him. Even when he was struggling, you gave him the chat. Like you said, I think there's been enough sample size. Agreed 100% with Volpe that it is time to move on and go to option 2, even if it's just a veteran, stopgap kind of shortstop. You know what I'm saying, dude? Because you'll get more out of it than what you're getting from him. But I agree with Spencer Jones. You got to at one point pull the trigger. And I think that's going to happen because historically with this lineup, the injury opportunity is just almost guaranteed here. You know what I mean?
Well, you're going to have Bellinger probably going to get hurt. You never know what Grisham and Judge might need some rest days, whatever. It might not be the worst thing to do that. I mean, the guy you would hope isn't trying to chase records anymore. You need him to be there to win a bunch of games for it. Because if he's not there, who's doing it? But it's at that point with Judge. Okay, maybe let's a little bit of. I know you guys hate this because you're NBA, a little bit of time management with Judge and say don't play every day. Yeah, you don't want to lose your rhythm, but you also I don't care if Aaron Judge hits another 50 home run season. I don't give a shit. That won't make him any more great player. Eventually, he's got to win something to be an all-time Yankee, in my opinion.
No, absolutely. I mean, the numbers are there. Right now, without the championships, offensively, statistically, he's having probably becoming one of the best offensive Yankees you've ever seen in your life, right? What he's done, with the MVPs and the back-to-backs, almost a triple crown winner, the 50 homers and all that good stuff, 60 breaking the leg. I mean, he's done everything already from a regular season Yankee great standpoint, just hasn't won. You know what I mean? And he hasn't been able to perform as well in the postseason. And that's something that until that doesn't change, you cannot put him on the list. I put him on the list as one of the greats, but not in the top elite because he hasn't been able to get to that level. And
it's
a lot of it is
unfair, right?
Yeah, it is unfair. And unfortunately, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. I think they haven't been put great teams around him. You know what I mean?
Like if he was throw a team out there. If he played for the Colorado Rockies, he'd be the greatest Colorado Rocky of
Of all time, right now.
Yeah.
all time,
Right now, dude.
and that's not even debatable.
The greatest Marlins of all time, right now.
Because the Rockies haven't won fuck all either, right?
Yeah, exactly. The more
So
you
the
know,
Rockies have as many World Series as Aaron Judge does. So if he ends up being, if he was, he'd be their greatest. They'd be naming streets after him. But because he plays for the Yankees and hasn't won, and us being kind of an asshole discussion to have, to not putting him in the Mount Rushmore things, but with Yankee fans, you got to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, nobody cares that we made the playoffs. Oh, right on.
Here's the thing, bro. Jeter didn't have all the top stats compared to the other shortstop, but the motherfucker won. And when he got to the playoffs, he outshined all the other better shortstops. You know what I mean, dude? That's kind of the way it is. That's why we have the most championships in the history of the damn Major League Baseball, right? That's why we've done things that nobody can even get close to what the Yankees have done. It's just the mediocrity for us fans, as Yankee fans. It's not acceptable, right? You know what I mean? And unfortunately, Judge is paying the price. You know what I mean? In this scenario, where, like you said, right, it is really unfair. You know what I mean? It is really unfair. Great guy, by the way. You know what I mean? He's having probably, to me, right there next to Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols to me had the best 10 first major league seasons of any baseball player I ever saw, right? In the modern era, right? This guy was like, man, same thing, right? 430 something, 330, 320, over 35 and 40 homers. You know what I mean? The guy over 120 RBIs, best top 10 seasons to start a career. You know what I mean? And Judge is having a better start through the first 10 years of his career than Albert Pujols. You know what I mean, dude? That's what I saw, and I'm like, shit, man. Albert won some rings with things. So that's
Albert Pujols won more rings with less than Judge has with more.
Yeah. You're right, but it's a different era. In this era, I think Aaron Judge, if you compare it, he has less help, right? The pitching has sucked his entire freaking tenure he's been here. Mike Stanton is, again, Jeter, that was a favorite of Jeter. And that a bad signing like that, right? A bad trade like that with a bad contract, that sets you back for so long. And that's been the problem. We haven't been able to, and of course, because Cashman, like you said, it's not the Cashman from, the first, dynasty, right? Where, he was doing Dodger moves like we're doing now. And he had, the core four, right? The Pettits, the Derek Jeter, and then you had Pettit and, all the Marianos and stuff like that. He still had those guys here. He hasn't been able to keep a core like that and also even add, because it's just been really bad, some bad signings. That's just the way it is.
Well, it's that.
And the business perspective.
It's that, and you also have to realize it's now a different owner mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different economic climate.
Absolutely.
It's also the fact that I said this the other day, and I've been saying this, and there are Yankee fans that don't agree with it, and there are a lot that do. Hal Steinbrenner is running this franchise as if they're going to win this collective bargaining agreement and there's going to be a salary cap or a floor. I, on the other hand, feel, and I've said this about this season before it even started, everybody better enjoy it, because when this season ends, there may not be another one, because the players will not go for a cap, because the inmates love the fact that they could get ridiculous contracts, get hurt, and still get guaranteed pay. And the owners are tired of it, but they're the ones who, listen, I'm not siding with owners in this at all, but you got to look at it from this perception. I feel that they were kind of forced into this agreement because they knew if they didn't agree to it, where does the sport of baseball go from there? And you don't have, if they go into a lockout, look at it this way, you don't have a McGuire or a Sosa or a Bonds to save you this time. You don't have it. What do you have if you go into a lockout and you lose the season and they agree to something like middle of the road? What's to bring the baseball fan back this time? What are you going to do? You're going to ask Aaron Judge to juice up, and then when it's Hall of Fame time, no, you can't get in? Like, come on. I don't know.
Here we go. I think Judge hit a homer.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Judge hit a homer, baby.
Yeah.
Talking about the captain, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're
the fucking Tommy Lugauers at WFAN could shut their mouths now.
Yeah. Do you guys think that maybe like the allure of being a Yankee doesn't matter as much anymore? And because these guys can go to the Dodgers and they can make a ton of money and have a chance of winning and live in nicer weather. They can go to San Diego. They can go to Houston and on. Like there's different places you can play, and it doesn't matter. Like and because these guys all have so much fucking money nowadays.
Yeah.
So the allure of playing in New York, and then the taxes, and then Jimmy talk about all the time the business, like the business end of things. Maybe like I don't need to be a Yankee anymore, but then you get lesser known players like the Trent Grishams of the world who can come and have an all-time season, get overpaid because stupid Yankee fans demand it. So it's a double-edged sword for Cashman. So he kind of, you guys are telling me to spend, you're telling you're telling Steinbrenner to spend $300 million a year, which isn't chump change by any means. No. It's more than most. It's more than most, and they're just not getting it done. And so they're overpaying because the Yankee public expects it, which is kind of ridiculous. Like I don't know.
And you're right.
I agree with you. Like the Stanton contract when they got him, yeah, that's not good because it's going to just hold him down forever and ever. I mean, he's been good, he's been great, he's been hurt, he's been this, but he takes up a roster spot.
Yep.
Right. Like you guys talk about bringing Jones up. Where you put him?
That's a good point. I mean, that's why Jones not here.
Or how about the fans complaining about that Dominguez isn't up here? Well, where do you put him? How does Dominguez get the reps in left field if he's sitting on the bench? Where does he get it? Where does he improve in left field? Do you know how many Yankee fans on Twitter I can't believe they didn't bring Dominguez up. I'm like, okay, you schnook. Where does he? When does he get the playing time? When? If Cody Bellinger's playing left field every night and Judge is playing right field and Grissom's in center field, the only thing Dominguez is going to do is play with his nuts on the bench. That's all he's going to do.
Yep.
That's all he's going to do. So the best thing that they did with Dominguez was, start him in AAA, so he could get the repetitions of left field, so he could improve. Because right now, like Stanton in the outfield, the Martian is also a liability in the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, I agree with that decision of putting him in the minors because we already have one-trick ponies up here. That's Stanton. He's a one-trick pony. He can hit the ball hard. That's it. But he can't run. He can't field.
Oh my gosh!
And Dominguez is kind of the same thing.
Imagine putting him on the field.
He can't field and he can't run.
Not only you put him on the field, of course, he can't do shit on the field, but he's gonna get hurt the first opportunity that he's out there. So it's just And we got one more year with Stan. Look, you know what? Good riddance. After 27, I think it's an option year, right? Where you have the option to either pick it up or
I think it's time to go.
Yeah, something like that. So I think we might be seeing Stanton play this last season as a Yankee. You know,
and they could have, if they were creative, they could have gotten out of that contract. Well, at least they could have moved some of it.
Yeah.
Because they would still have to eat a ton of it. They could have done it in so many ways. They could have did it with the Cubs when the Cubs were going to trade you Darvish.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have did that. You could have moved him to Chicago, took on you. You could have swapped contracts at that point. You could have took on Darvish's contract, gotten rid of Stanton's. And they didn't do that. I just don't think Cashman is as creative because with George Steinbrenner, it was just, move who you got to move, sign who you got to sign. Here's the checkbook. I'll sign the check. You just put the amount in. I don't give a shit. Hal, it's, he runs it more like a business. They look at the overhead. They look at margins. They look at all this shit. That's the thing Yankee fans don't understand other than the three of us. They don't understand that the Yankees are now, they're not run like an evil empire anymore. They're run like a business because, again, sports is a business. At the end of the day, it's a business.
There's ways to get creative, and I think Cashman is already over he's overdue, right?
But
back then, you had guys who wanted to come to
He's overdue. He's overdue. I think it's time to bring somebody that can come up with those creative ways financially to look what the Dodgers doing. Right?
Would have been one of them.
I think so. Right now, we need that. Cashman was great. He did everything we needed for his point. I think he's been in that position now, maybe
too long.
8 to 10 years overdue. All right, guys, let's be honest, right? The game changed in 2015, 2016. You know what I mean? 17 when it came to signing players and players going somewhere else. That's it. You got to start coming up with somebody. Like I said, Theo Esping was available. You know what I mean? He's done it 2 separate places and places that never won before. Yeah. Don't you think he could do something great with the fucking Yankees? You know what I mean, dude? It's time to move on. And I think I think the loyalty at this point from the ownership, right? Because what he did for Pops, I think he's right now. Cashman has them as loyalty stuff. Look what I did for you guys, man. But at this point, man, it's long gone. Thank you.
Why
Let's
are they
move
so
on.
afraid of being wrong? Right? I talked about it earlier on with Volpe. Why are they so afraid of being wrong? Because what happened? Like, if let's just say if the Yankees fall into one this year and win a World
Yeah.
Championship, and then the Steinbrenners they can go, we told you,
Yep.
we told you he wasn't done. But if they don't, then it's another year and another year and another year, and it's hard to win. Obviously, I mean it's tough.
It is.
But there's teams that are doing it. There's teams that are getting to the World Series year in, year out. There's teams that in all sports, there's teams that find a way to make it happen. And the Yankees, yeah, they were a fly ball away and a bad pitching decision in 2024, right? And they would have been up 3-2. So it isn't dire.
It is.
But as spoiled Yankee fans, well, and I'm just as guilty. Like we're all just
absolutely.
What the fuck? Well, it could be worse. It could be a Met fan. They haven't licked the jar since when?
Yeah.
Right. So maybe it's not that bad. Maybe just the greed of it all is making things worse than it is. I don't know. Like I want them to win, but at what cost? I don't know. It's odd to spend. And said this before, like the amount of money Steinbrenner's spent, even with the reins pulled back a little bit, isn't chump change by any means.
No, it's not.
It's not the Florida Marlins. No. Right.
Not the Rays. Right. You know what I mean?
It's not the Rays. It's not the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yep.
But the Yankee fan, but the problem is and with being spoiled, and we've said this even when we've had our Yankee bitch fests, it's we're used to the explosive move, the big signing, the under the radar trade, the signing you didn't see coming. We're so used to that when George passed away, we expected Hal and Hank to do the same. And you have to realize Hal and Hank, and even though Hank's not here no more either, they're not their dad.
No, man.
That's something years ago. And unfortunately, we all had blinders on, and we're all guilty of this. We just figured out it'll be the same thing. They'll spend. They'll make every deal because that's what we expect. And Hal said, "No, we're not doing that no more." Because now it's not Dad's money anymore. It's Hal's money. It's whoever has minority ownership.
Yeah, now you have a group. Yeah,
it's their money. So now not only are you watching your money, you got to watch everybody's money. And if you're not putting a product out there that's attempting to win, those guys are going to pull their money out. And now it's all going to be Hal's money. And watch how frugal he really becomes. And it could be worse. You could be the Pirates. You could be the Marlins. But there are two teams that did make the World Series that spent a lot less.
That's right.
And that's where Brent gave me the illustrious nickname. We all know what World Series that was. The one that nobody watched.
Yeah. No, it's like maybe it's the new building. I mean, that's not even that new anymore, right?
Yeah.
And let's think about this, right? Revenue wise, the Yankees are not hurting, right? Even at that point, it is still one of the most highest revenue with gate entry. The amount of money that you spend at the stadium, because one of the most expensive stadiums to go.
But it's more corporate than anything.
It is, but you think about it, they're still getting that particular revenue from there. And I agree with you about the group, but so does the Dodgers. The Dodgers is not one owner; it's a group of people. You know what I'm saying, dude? And the Dodgers found their way. Again, it's one of those times that yes, it might get worse, but the definitions of insanity is doing the same thing, over and over again, expecting different results. You know what I mean? And we've been stuck on, which is great. We still make the playoffs, right? We still kind of battle. We might make the World Series, not win like we did a couple of years ago. But it's just, I don't know, man. From my standpoint, I guess I don't, and Jim gets it more than you and I, Brent, because he's in New York, so he gets to hear all the local shit. You know what I mean, dude? It's like if I was there, I probably would think a little different. But I'm not over there. I'm only looking from a standpoint of a fan that lives far away. But yeah, I mean. It is. I to my opinion, guys, I think it's time for a change. I think we need a change in head coach. I think we need a change in the front office. This year, let's because we're wasting Aaron Judge's, talent, right? We're wasting his talent, dude. That's the main part that I think it sucks more as a fan. I love Aaron Judge. I think the dude is a hell of a player. One of the best players right there. 1A, 1B with Ohtani, right? Even with the other players, better than Bryce Harper, right? Better than a bunch of other guys. And the dude is just a great guy, because what have you ever heard about this guy off the field, right? Shit, you know what I mean? He's a freaking citizen, right? It's what the the epitome of a Yankee captain, right? You know, right after Jeter, right? I mean, he's, you know what I mean? It's that's the part that kind of gets me. I was like, yeah, you know, maybe I don't know. There's a lot more things going on in that office, in that boardroom, in that front office, and we know that we unfortunately we're not privy to it.
Us, we're the three most hypocritical assholes on fucking television right
absolutely.
now. Because right across the bottom, it says it's already over, we're winning it all. Get Skenes, and we're bitching about them. They're 2-0 going. They might be 3-0 after tonight.
Get down, bro.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
But you know what, bro? Unfortunately, us Yankee fans are a little hypocritical when it comes to winning.
We're all guilty.
We're spoiled, bro. We're spoiled, man.
You want to know why the Yankees are afraid to be wrong? You want to know why?
Why?
Because of people like us.
Yeah.
Because we've known for so long that they're wrong that when they finally admit it, we're going to be like, ha ha, assholes, we fucking told you.
Listen, dude, we hung on when the boss was banned from baseball and we sucked. All right. We wasted Don Mattingly's career, man. Don Mattingly, if it wasn't for injuries, man, I mean, this dude was the best baseball player out there. He was doing shit of modern era, right? 35 homers, 130 RBIs, batting 330, right? You know what I mean, dude? This guy was just like, you know, and then it was the time that unfortunately it was when, you know, Steinbrenner was banned from baseball. You know, you had the Yankees, you know, the Jesse Barfields of the world, you know what I'm saying? Danny Tartable, you know, oh my gosh, man. So
you actually think about it. They're in the World Series in what was it, 77 and 81.
Yeah.
And then they were real bad.
Yes.
Real bad. Up until 94, there was a strike.
The strike.
They lost to 95 to the Mariners. 96 to 2000 that they won. And then they won in 2009. So Yankee fans should really shut up because there's a lot more bad years in there than good ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot
more. For our time, absolutely.
Right? And then there's these people chasing, and I've used a time or two, 28 World Championships. Yeah, there was two. You win the American League, go to the World Series, you're done. Since there's been expanded playoffs and everything else, the Yankees haven't done anything.
No.
Right? So maybe we're all just the dumb ones.
Yeah, maybe. Oh man.
But they're always right there. They're always right there, and they have a shot. Like you have what written on the bottom there, Skenes. Do you go and grab them?
Listen, you know, let's jump into that one right now, man. I mean, this story blew up. What, yesterday? All of a sudden, the Yankees tried, and I believe they were giving up, you know, the pieces that you needed to get a guy like Skenes, right? Because this Skenes is gonna have to get traded. Pittsburgh's not going anywhere, and if Pittsburgh is smart,
and they're not paying him.
No. This is the time where you be like, yo, listen, nice contract. You could get the world for Skenes. This guy right here can be the next anchor for the generation of the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
And to get us, you know, because listen, you get three studs, all right, with, you know, Cole, Fried, this young man, you know, Shifter might be gone because he's probably going to be part of the trade, right? Or maybe not. Maybe it's just one assets. I mean, it's one of those things that you need. It's kind of like the A-Rod thing, right? You got to do everything you can, and because this kind of came out now, even though it was quiet during the trade last year, during the trade deadline, it's because I think Pittsburgh might be on the move with this guy again. You know what I mean? You would not let that get out again, even though it was like, oh no, they even pick up the phone when they offer him, you know, when the Yankees offer him the deal where they went for Skenes, they didn't even like just answer back. But if this story right now is so hot, it's because Pittsburgh this year is looking to trade Skenes. I mean, or they try to make noise. You know what I mean? They're trying to make smoke here, man. But that would be very nice, boys and girls. That would be very, very nice.
The Pirates haven't signed anybody to a multi-year deal.
This is McCutcheon.
Since
I think McCutcheon.
2016, and it was a former Yankee pitcher, Ivan Nova. They signed him to a 2-year deal at what, like $10 million?
And
tops.
And McCutcheon was the last big player they signed to a huge contract.
Yeah,
that's it.
They're not. Listen, the owner in Pittsburgh will not spend money, and yet you have one of the most beautiful ballparks in all of baseball.
He's in the Marlins.
Diehard fans that show up every night. Mm-hmm. Why, I don't know. Maybe because there's not much to do in Pittsburgh after Steelers football other than the Penguins.
Dude, let me tell you something. Historic. Yeah. The difference between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Marlins, right? Because they both have great stadiums, good markets, right? Because the difference is that people show up to watch the Pirates lose. Nobody shows up to watch the Marlins lose. You know what I mean,
They
dude?
sell a ton of IC Light, that's for sure.
You know, listen, dude. And let me tell you, I go to the stadium at least 3 or 4 times a year because the tickets are so cheap, and the stadium is fucking gorgeous. It's a dome. You know what I mean? It's like, but dude, nobody's got to go watch the Marlins. I mean,
What's it cost?
they won World Series, and they don't care.
How much ticket to go in there, man?
Oh, dude, if we buy, I could like sit up in the front, man, against a crappy team for like $30, dude, $35, $40. And the crazy thing is that we do it old school. I'll spend like $20 to, and I'll start at the second level, and I'm at the bottom, bro. You know what I mean? Right before the Founders Club. Okay, let's go, guys. You know what I mean? And then I'm out by 6 o'clock because the traffic is insane to get back home. You know what I mean? I'm like 30 minutes away. It's so that's the difference. I mean, the stadium is gorgeous. The atmosphere is great. You know what I'm saying? Miami's a really nice town, but just
you look what they did during the World Baseball Classic. How great it is
dude,
there.
Exactly, it is. It's an atmosphere, and that's a sad part, bro. That's the environment you have. You have a big infusion of Latin American baseball, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, right? You would think that even if the team sucks, everybody's gonna be going because these are all baseball people, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's playing basketball, hockey, or fucking football in the islands. You know what I'm saying, dude? They're all playing baseball, but they just don't. The loyalty for major leagues not there. Now, like I said, you've been Puerto Rico against Dominican Republic, Venezuela against freaking the United States of against the U.S. You saw those stadiums. It's like magical.
That's such a great event.
Those tickets were going for $500 a pop when it was Venezuela against Dominican Republic. Yeah, insane.
You get back to Skenes. Like, how many guys in the Yankees are untouchable? Judge.
Yep. Fried and Cole. I think
right Cole. And they're not asking for those guys.
No, they're not. They're not because remember the contracts and they're late in age. Right? I think we're looking at
Pirates are not asking for the 3 untouchable guys the Yankees have.
Nope. They're not.
If you give up Ben Rice, if you give up Schlittler, if you give up Dominguez,
maybe Spencer Jones. I mean, it's Jones, like
they're not playing there anyways. See ya.
Exactly.
Go for it.
Spencer Jones and Lombard were the 2 names I seen in John Heyman's report.
Yes.
That were offered.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Why wouldn't Pittsburgh just jump on that? Because those are 2 guys you financially control for a cheap owner who doesn't reinvest the money he makes back into the team anyway.
God, I wish.
Paul Skenes, if he stays in Pittsburgh his whole career, he's going to be known as the greatest Pirate pitcher to not win anything.
He'll be known as Nolan Ryan. All right.
Without, you know what I'm saying, dude? Without rings.
Nolan Ryan with the Houston days, the Anaheim day. Well, back then was the California Angels. You know what I'm saying? Those teams where this guy was like, had an ERA of like 2.2 and would win 12 games and lose 16. Lose games 1-0, lose games 2-1, pitching 11 innings. You know what I'm saying, dude? I mean, leading the league in strikeouts, leading the league in ERA. You know what I mean? And even when he was over 500, he would win 16 games and lose 14. You know what I'm saying? That's what this guy is. That's what the start of his career has been. You know what I mean, dude? And that's where he's heading to. But and if Pittsburgh's smart, they could get a nice haul for him. And
he's going to get what, $60 million a year?
I think so.
Maybe more.
Maybe more. I mean, this guy from any team when he becomes a free agent,
it's done. Pittsburgh isn't paying that. No. You look at Scooble out in Detroit, same thing. They offered him. They got the highest arbitration was $35 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a deal. The way pitchers are getting paid this year.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Well, they had no choice to do that after they brought in Valdez. Yeah. When they brought in Valdez from Houston and gave him 3 years at whatever, and it broke down to like $30+ million a year. Scooble's like, oh well, where's my fucking money?
Yeah, I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Listen, we could. This is where I think if the boss was still alive, he would find every way.
The deal would have been done.
He would find every way to get this done if there was a light and an interest, because there was an interest if the Yankees offer something, right? Yeah. There was an interest, and the fact that the story is now shedding light and being displayed out. This happened last summer, right? The trade deadline. That tells you that Pittsburgh should be interested or is interested in moving this guy along. You would not let this leak. And I got the Paul Skenes was to get the F out of Dodge.
Pittsburgh has traded because they knew they couldn't pay him financially.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole, Barry Bonds. There's a ton of guys. Pittsburgh would have won more if they kept those guys and actually paid them. It's just bad ownership.
Bobby Bonilla, bro, he's still getting paid until today.
That guy's still getting paid by the Mets and the Orioles. Ken Griffey Jr. still getting paid by the Reds.
Yeah, man.
Come on.
Yeah, if I was the the Pirates, I would just go to every team. Okay, who do
Give me
you
your best offer.
Give me your best offer right now.
As a matter of fact, I will do what we do in the public sector, right? In the organization, it's governmental. You'll be like, all right, guys, here's an RFP, right? Which is like, give me your best deal. I'm not going for the cheapest vendor. This is what I'm looking for. Everybody put in their bids, and everybody's submitting. I'm going to give you X, Y, and Z, and there's a let's go.
I know you're not getting this guy. I know we're not getting this guy, this guy, and this guy from your team. Who else do you got?
Give me your best offer. Boom. Done. Big bid.
And the Yankees have a good farm system.
And that's what back in the day would get you a guy like Skenes, right? You know what I'm saying? You send them a couple of replacements, right? But then you also are giving the individuals that shit, man. The Yankees traded the reason why we were so successful. We traded a lot of the farm talent, right?
Yeah.
So A-Rod was one of the exceptions. You know what I'm saying? That we traded a bunch of guys for him, but we will make that move when it was Tino. You know what I'm saying? We will make that move in the middle of the season like that. That's just. Again, it's just. I mean, like again, we're not in the front office, but at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that you have to swing for the fences. We can't keep wasting Judge's talent, right?
Or Coles.
Exactly. Or Coles. I mean, we've fucking wasted Coles.
And now you have to incorporate Max Fried into that equation and Carlos Rodon for that matter. So
so you make the trade. If let's say Pittsburgh doesn't make a trade for Skenes right now. He's one pitch away from that elbow getting blowing up.
Tommy John in the house, bro.
Right. So what are they doing? They have they have an asset that they could use to improve their team for 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
Because he's not winning them 100 games.
No, he's not.
No. They're just not.
He's going to give you. He's going to
have an asset. Trade it. Get rid of it because they're not winning and they're half a second away from a disaster.
Absolutely.
Look at you compare Paul Skenes to. Look at DeGrom's time with the Mets.
Yes.
Prime example right there.
Yes.
And with
what the Mets get? Nothing.
And with Skenes, if I'm the Yankees, other than the 3 to 4 untouchables, everybody else is movable.
Absolutely.
You want Trent Grisham? Take him.
Absolutely.
You want Ben Rice? Take him. You want Anthony Volpe? Shit, we'll just give them to you. You didn't have to give up anything. Take them.
This guy doesn't even. As a matter of fact, we'll pay Volpe for
Aaron Boone?
Take him. We'll pay salary for 1 year.
You want Cashman's third daughter? Take her too.
Oh man.
Shit, I'll give you both my kidneys for Paul Skenes right now. I'll die, but I'll give them.
Hey, as long as your kids, Jim, get to see another championship, right? If Skenes doesn't...
my daughter don't care about fucking baseball. She's into NBA, so.
Oh man. Oh man, so the Yankees are up 3-1 right now. All right, 6th inning. We're just doing our thing right here. We may start 3-0 again, which hey man, things are looking up, man. And listen, going back to my question, going back to where we're at here, and I know is wishful thinking with Paul Skenes. Well, let's say current lineup. How far are we getting into the postseason? First of all, let's start with the division. Are we winning the division?
Yes.
Okay. Because I want to do something cool here later on. McCormick had a good idea. Let's make 4 pick division winners, right? You know what I mean? In the entire for the league. So McCormick, one of them is the Yankees. The Yankees are winning the American League East. Okay, so it's like so they're
right now it's the Yankees division to win.
It should be right.
Toronto lost pieces this offseason.
Absolutely.
Boston is not where they should be. And look at Sonny Gray today. I mean, he looked phenomenal.
No. Baltimore has no pitching whatsoever.
Yeah, right. Baltimore got better offensively.
No pitching
is still questionable at best.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the Yankees division to lose right now.
Who's our closer?
Anything can happen going down the good path or the horrendous path, which we all know that. But right now, it's the Yankees are the clear-cut favorite to win the AL East. I don't care what ESPN tells you. I don't care what the jerk-offs at WFAN tell you. They're not even talking sports right now. They got their own little inner beef from guys that got fired now. So, like the Salicatas of the world and Brandon Tierney's now like prank calling Boomer and Gio while Gio's doing impersonations of Chris Mad Dog Russo. Come on.
Who's our closer, guys?
WFAN should hire the 3 of us. That would be one hell of a show.
Who's going to be the guy that's going to be the consistent closer this year?
Oof.
Oh, God.
That's important to win a division and get far in the playoffs and get far in the World Series.
I always thought Loizaga could have been the guy, but he ain't here no more.
No.
And that's another thing, how much better they are this year than last year. Still won 94 games,
Mm-hmm.
and Williams was the guy that was blowing games.
Well, no, David
left and
Bednar is
right.
the closer now.
Like, Bednar's the guy. Bednar will be there. He'll be fine.
Okay.
Bednar's good enough to hold everything down. Bednar's not all world, but he's real damn good.
Okay.
And so he's there for sure, being the guy. He's not gonna blow 7 games, right?
I'll take that. I'll take that 100%, dude. If you tell me he's not going to blow 7 games, that's huge, right?
Well, and that's like Williams pinstripes got really heavy for Williams last year, really early, and he got better as the season progressed. But like we've said before, you can't win the World Series in April. You can sure fucking lose it. Yeah, and that's kind of what happened, right?
In addition to Fried, Schindler, and Cole when he gets back, and Rondon when he gets back too, because Rondon's out injured, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Which other starter are we going to see lightning in the bottle a little bit that can, be that guy? That's because remember, at one point, you know how it is, the dog days of summer, arms get tired. You need to throw some guys in there to take some starts, man. Because it is what it is. Max Fried's going to hit a wall. Schindler's going to hit a wall, right? Cole's going to hit a wall. Not Cole, but that's got to happen. Which starter can give us can be that fifth guy that hey man, he's coming in here and doing a kind of like a Nestor Cortez a few years ago and gave him some innings. Who's that guy, right? From your perspective, guys.
That Weathers kid's going to be good, I think.
Okay,
he's actually the 4th starter right now.
Yep, I
think he's going to be good. He was with them. I think he was with the Marlins last year, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
I think he throws hard. He's going to get a chance to win some games.
He pitched great for the Marlins last year with nobody, with no support.
And now starting pitching, like wins and losses don't even matter. It's just
innings, bro.
It's just outs, innings.
Innings,
get me 15 outs.
Right, give me some depth, bro.
We'll take care of the rest. Like the Jays won their first 2 games and struck out the 23 batters. The first two games are 2-0. Neither pitcher got a win. Wins don't matter. It's just give me some length, get to the middle guys, get me a reliever, and we're done. So if you can get guys to go out there and throw 5 innings, especially early, pile up wins early, so you don't got to search for them in September, then you're in really good shape.
Awesome.
No, that Weathers kid's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be good.
I watched him pitch a lot last year. He is. That's a good arm. That's a really good arm. I think that was a good acquisition. All right. What about playoffs? How deep in the playoffs? Are we getting to the World Series, or are we just looking at one and done? I know it's early, and we do this. It's the whole point.
That's what podcast's supposed to be. This bunch
exactly, bro. We got to hit that ring. We got to.
You're throwing up shit in the wall. Something's bound to stick.
We got to crank it up, man. We got to crank it up. If we don't crank it up, we're not real podcasters.
Yeah.
If they're aggressive at the deadline, like if there's a move that they could pull off, one that we don't see, somebody's available that maybe we didn't see that's available, and could be a contributing factor. Then I would say, I'll say it, I think we could get there. It's just a matter of, can certain guys just stay healthy throughout the whole year? Like if you see Judge is getting sluggish, well, give him a couple of days off. Like again, I hate to use the NBA term load management, but Judge is 34 years old now. And you can't put him out there every day and expect him to play like he's 24.
But in Major League Baseball is not load management, right? It's you play too many fucking games not to give the guy a rest, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's kind of what I think.
Especially with the scheduling where you have you play 2 night games and then you have that Wednesday getaway game at 1:00 in the afternoon. You're not going to play Judge 1:00 on a Wednesday.
Exactly.
Like you're not going to do that. So that's maybe a day where, all right, I'll just use him as a DH, or all right, he come off the bench and in a key situation, and that's where you plug in whoever in right field. That's where fucking whoever. But if they can make a move, whether it's Skenes or it's the kid from Miami, that Sandy whatever kid, who Marlins say they're not moving, but that's another guy that they're not going to be able to pay either.
The Marlins are not loyal, dude. The Marlins will move their firstborn and their unborn at the same time.
Well, you know what I mean?
When they say that is because they're trying to get more. You know what I mean? More equity for the individual. That guy's got to get moved. There's no doubt about it. They'll move everybody, bro. They're not. Those guys are not loyal. They'll move anybody. That you want to talk about a real business? That's all they care about. Those guys care about margins because they overpaid for that franchise because of the market value. It was just market value at that point.
The one thing I got to say is this, and I'm sure Brent will agree with this, and I'm sure you will too, E-Man. When we go back to the offseason, right, and Cody Bellinger's the big name, and obviously being a Boris guy that he is, Boris wanted 7 years and $400 million. Where did Cody think he was getting that when Alonso was getting 5 years, 150?
Absolutely,
Schwarber got 5 years, 155. Bregman was the highest paid out of it. Like all these guys in that age bracket were all getting the same amount.
Yep.
So where did Boris think Cody was getting more? What, because he's with the Yankees? You think Hal's going to overspend? That's the one thing I'll give Hal and Cashman credit. They stood their ground and they didn't back down. And look who folded.
Absolutely.
Boris, probably the first time ever Boris didn't get what he wanted.
Absolutely.
Well, you can't blame a guy for asking. A closed mouth never gets fed.
No.
Right?
I don't, but listen, that's the thing. Like, I'll never knock a player for getting the money because if you have a great agent like Boris, shit, he'll get you everything you ask for. But there's always that one time where it's read the room, like read the market. The guys in your bracket, in your age bracket, even though you're all playing different positions, I mean, Alonso, the Mets could have kept him at 5 years, 150. The Yankees could have easily have done that.
I think that was a little bit of a whiff, man. We should have pursued Alonso a little more. I don't even know.
Listen, I like Ben Rice to a point, but is he giving you Pete Alonso numbers?
No. They're banking on maybe he's not there yet. That's all. But I'm not.
I don't think he's ever giving us Pete Alonso numbers.
No.
But if he can hit consistently and he plays a good first base, is that acceptable to the Yankee fan who is knowledgeable?
They scored 850 fucking runs last year. Like, what more do we need?
Yeah.
Like it's not offensive production.
Yeah. According to the Twitter GMs, that's not enough. Well, we need more. We need more.
Talking about Ben Rice, bro. Great campaign, by the way. Ben's original Rice, Spanish style too, man. And some people were bullshitting with this. I'm like, oh, why does he have Spanish style rice? You know, Ben's is fluent in Spanish, right? The guy can fucking speak Spanish. As a matter of fact, dude, I think this is one of the best campaigns. The dude right now is making money on this right here more than this just felt on his lap because of the way that he is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this whole Uncle Ben's Rice campaign is great because I mean, look at this. Let me share this with you. I shared with Jim a while back. This is Ben's either rookie or second year. He's getting interviewed by a Spanish network. Watch.
Gringo que no es gringo, ya tú
sabes. Dice que estamos con Ben Arroz.
Sí, Ben Arroz.
¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo te sientes?
Todo bien, me siento muy feliz para estar aquí y estoy muy agradecido para esta oportunidad.
Tú sabes que ya tú eres un dominicano adoptivo.
Sí, un dominicano, el gringo que no es gringo, ya tú sabes. Sí.
Exactamente. ¿Cómo tú te sientes con esta aceptación de los latinos, los dominicanos?
Hey, otra vez, muy agradecido para mis fanáticos en la República Dominicana.
Postseason, las emociones.
Hey, feliz, emocionado, pero vamos a quedarnos tranquilos aquí.
¿Se siente la energía en Nueva York con ustedes?
Sí. Hoy, cuando yo estaba caminando por la calle, me sentía la energía aquí, es diferente hoy. Sí.
¿Cómo te preparaste para el día de hoy?
Lo mismo como siempre. Nada diferente.
¿Qué desayunaste antes de venir para acá? ¿Qué comiste?
Lo mismo cada día para mí. Para desayuno, sí.
¿Qué comes todo?
Huevo con pan tostado. Every day, papi. Keep it simple.
Le falta el aguacate, el avocado.
Sí, no, aguacate también. Sí, eso también.
Porque
eso se me olvidó.
En Dominicana, el pan con aguacate.
Sí, eso, no, me gusta. Es mejor. Ya tú sabes. Gringo que no.
This guy is like Dominican, bro, by insertion. You know what I mean? So great. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I like Ben. I love Ben a lot. I mean, he's one of my favorite players, but shit, dude, you're not gonna get Pete Alonso production out of Ben.
And I don't think with the money that you spend on certain guys that you can just hope that this guy is a stopgap. I think you have to, if you're, and you hate seeing guys spend like teams spending $500, $600, $700 million. and then it's the business and blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't know. You got an all-time talent and Judge. You have to go for it. You can't waste it. You just can't and hope that these guys are the guys. You have to put superstars around them. You look at the Dodgers, what they're doing out there. There's superstars at every position,
everywhere.
Is that viable? Well, not really. But if you spend $700 million on your payroll, and you're charging $22 for a hot dog, and people are still buying them, well, there you go. Like the place is packed all season long, like packed in LA.
Dude,
the parking lot is making a couple $1 million a game,
and that's in a shitty area and a shitty stadium. You know what I mean? The Yankees have it all. Right? Great stadium. I mean, the area is not the best, but again, it's tradition, right? Is where Yankee baseball has always been played, and the stadium has. I mean, dude, it's you got one of the top steakhouses in the damn city, dude. You know what I mean, dude? It's like well known. You got the food, and people out there are paying. I mean, you've got luxury boxes that are a wait list, right? Are so expensive. So the revenue to me, it's not the problem. I think it's again, and I'm a little hypocrite by saying this, but that we have to come up with better ways of financing and pulling these and bringing the players that matter. Because we're spending the money, but we're not bringing in, the individuals that I think we want to have here, right? You know what I mean? The Mookie Betts of the world, right? I mean, Pete Alonso should have been. If we wasn't going to get when Pete Alonso said he's not going back to the Mets, that should have been like, okay, man. We need if we're 135. That we should at least offer 140. I don't care if we were overspent.
Well, he wound up getting 150. So if anything, I would have been like, listen, we'll match that. Hell, we'll give you an extra $5 million if that lures you to the other side of New York
and
give a big fuck you to the Mets. Then why not?
And we may not give him a box, for his family, but I'll give you season tickets to like 3 seats somewhere.
Juan Soto's such a cancer in that locker room. And it showed this offseason.
I think it's showing again, hey, Jim?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Just the player announcements and Lindor and Juan Soto. I don't know if it's because one's Dominican, one's Puerto Rican. I don't know, but there's something there. I mean, look at the guys that the Mets got rid of. You traded Jeff McNeil, right? You traded Brandon Nimmo away. These guys were homegrown Mets, and you ousted them because of
you couldn't afford them. Couldn't afford them.
That's going to be that Juan Soto deal is going to be the death of the Mets.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not for nothing. Didn't Uncle Steve promise the Mets something within 5 years?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, guess what, Uncle Steve? You got that wrong too, and you're going to get the Soto signing wrong too, because when he opts out, because he will.
Hey,
but who's going to pay him?
Absolutely.
Well, that's the thing, like these opt-outs and no trades. And if you guys were an owner and somebody came to me and said, yeah, I'll play for your team, but you're going to give me $40 million. And then I'm going to tell you how long I'm going to play for your team, but you have to sign me for this long.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't trade me if I suck. I would tell that clown to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I say, no, you're just another guy. We lost we lost with you. We'll lose without you. Whatever. I get it. There, the top players are a commodity, but eventually, and I'm not an owner hugger, but sometimes it sounds like I am.
Mm-hmm.
But owners got to just say enough with these guys. Like it's absolute insanity in my eyes, because you're just another guy that plays baseball. Yeah, you're great and you're an all-timer, but for you to make demands, it's still my business. I still own I have a franchise I have a 30 in a 30 team league. I have one of them. I'll decide where you play. Mm-hmm. And the problem that you have is that all these owners, they can't trust one another. And that's the big thing. If the owners would all be together on something, but they won't, because there's always going to be that one owner in LA or in Houston or wherever it might be, and it's all sports right across the board. There's always one owner that's going to overpay, and that's why you have to have a cap or a floor or whatever you might have to have, because they don't trust each other. They can't reach. They can't keep their hands out of their own back pocket paying these guys. Yep. And it's going to ruin. Baseball's not going to come back from this one, because they can't trust each other. Because the guys out in LA and then Cone out in Queens, They're like, yeah, I'll give him 50, 60, 70 million bucks.
Yeah.
Because someone will.
And you look at that Soto deal. Before they signed Soto, did they make the playoffs?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, they
The Mets didn't make the playoffs, right? You
Did they make the playoffs, Soto?
Did you make the playoffs with Soto? No, you didn't. So you wasted $750+ million to be in the same spot you were a year ago.
Worse.
And worse. So when this doesn't pan out, and I said when they made this deal, it's not going to pan out, and so far it's coming to fruition. But this is why the Yankees don't make certain moves that we're like, why didn't we go after this guy? Maybe that's part of it. Maybe there's demands that we didn't hear about that are withheld from the rumor mill, where it's like, oh, well, maybe Pete Alonso wanted maybe he wanted a suite, and the Yankees said, not even Derek Jeter got a suite. So who the fuck is Juan Soto to say, I want a suite, and I want this? So, fuck you.
That was smart by the Yankees.
You want to play for somebody, and I understand you want to get paid, but if you're going to come in there like some fucking douche canoe and say, well, I want, to me, that's not a team guy. That's not what I want.
Here's the thing.
As an owner, as a GM, or even as guys that got to sit with you in that locker room. Like, you mean to tell me there's not one Met player that looks at Juan Soto on that bench and goes, this motherfucker thinks he's hot shit?
I think they all
look
do.
Look at us. We still suck.
I think they all do.
But here's the thing.
That guy has such a the arrogance that he carries. He's a great player. But there's just something that I don't like about him.
He's a great hitter. I wouldn't say he's a great fielder.
And put it this way, and that was the history behind him and every team has been, right? He's always had that reputation. Yankees wanted to control that because we got him in a time that, he needed to prove himself. He couldn't, be a cancer in the locker room. And again, like you said, a lot of people were saying, well, you would have never made the World Series without him. I was like, yeah, we also would have not made the World Series if Aaron Judge didn't play in that team and had that kind of season he had as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. And this is where one of the smart things, like you said, it was a smart deal by the Yankees not signing him, because they also say, like, why am I going to give up a box that I generate an extra $5-6 million in revenue, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm already paying you.
It's $20,000 a game. Easy.
Exactly. I'm paying you, freaking all this money, and you want a box, dude? Come on, man. That's when you be like, no, I cannot hurt the product that I'm trying to the money I'm trying to make to sign all the players, because you're the hot guy right now. So,
and not only that, but you're paying this guy now at a point in his career where he hasn't broken down yet with injuries. And if I was Steve Cohen, I got to think about that. Like, Cohen's whole thing in signing Soto was, okay, we could market him for this. We could market him for that. We could do, it was just all, it was all just to bring in more revenue. And I understand that because that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game, bring in more money. But if it's not improving the product on the field, is that investment worth it? To me, it's not.
Absolutely.
Once again, like Juan Soto walks into my office, if I'm Cashman or Steinbrenner, Juan Soto walks into my office and says, I want $52 million. I said, are you better than the guy sitting in the same dressing room? No, get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
I'm going to tell you what I could pay you.
When you're better than him, then we'll negotiate. But until you put up numbers better than the guy in the same room, like in good conscience, the Yankees couldn't pay, just in good conscience, with their superstar, one of the all-time greats. They couldn't have paid that. They couldn't. Oh. And there's only a handful of teams that can do it. And the Mets the Mets are going to Met no matter what, and they did it. Yep,
absolutely. But the Mets do that all the time. They're historically from doing that. And we knew what team was going to pay it. But you know what? That was actually, we dodged a good bullet, and we should be better for it. Moving on. Like I said, there's a lot of things after this season that the Yankees, because you kind of in borrowed time with Judge, that they have to make the move, right? Once we clear some salary cap, once Santa's gone, I mean, we have to go out there and kind of make that next signing. That's gonna kind of put us into the next level. But hey, with that being said, man, World Series or bust.
Yeah,
just like I put in my title. There you go.
That's always the mentality going into the season. It's always we're getting to the World Series somehow, some way.
I feel better.
It's a lot harder now to do it, but
last year when we sat around the same time and we did the predictions, I think we were all a little iffy, right? Cole is out for the season, right? Shit, man, that's gonna be tough, whatever. This year, I feel more hopeful, right?
Even with Cole coming back, that's where you get those extra 4 to 5, I'll say 6, 7 wins.
Yeah. That's why I am more hopeful this year than I was last year at this point, because Fried, we seen what Schiffler did, in the playoffs, and then we seen what he did last year when he came in towards the end. I see this as a potential, right? You can see that this kid might be like, oh shit, he's for real, right? Great outing, right? Like a couple of days ago, on the road, right, against a good team. Again, that's a hopeful thing. We got Rondon coming back, and then again, hey, we picked up another innings guy in Weathers. Cole comes back. Again, we navigate through the injuries, barring something catastrophic, right? Season ending for somebody that's really important. Let's not say that. About praying to God that doesn't happen. But I feel much better going into the season with the possible outlook. And again, I think a lot of, like Jim said, has to do when what blockbuster like piece can we put? And when I mean blockbuster is not you're not getting a Mookie Betts right in the middle of the season where they could be, but a player that, holy crap, man. I mean, let's go back to the years that we traded for, in the middle of the season, and boom, he just helped us get to the World Series.
You look at the deal they made with Tampa to get Caballero, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many Yankee fans sat there on Twitter?
I like it.
And listen, we're all guilty, because I'm sure I did it too. Who's this fucking guy? He ain't going to give us shit. Well, guess what? I'd rather him play shortstop than Volpe right now.
Listen,
they're a better team.
Field, he could hit.
They're a better
he
team
could
with
steal
more
bases.
potential than they were at this point last year.
Yes. I mean, look.
And they won 94 games, went to playoffs.
Full season with Chisholm. I think Chisholm is going to, if we use him correctly, you know what I mean, dude, he might get you another 30 home runs and steal. So one thing I like about Chisholm, he's aiming for 50-50, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to go 50-50, but I like the fact that he's aiming.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that this kid brings that, you know what I mean? And that's Yankee. That's Yankee baseball, bro. You know what I mean? When you got a guy coming in here at the beginning of the season, I'm going to go 50-50. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we have. We have a lot of that with him. We got Judge, of course, and then again, hopeful with the pitching staff. The bullpen, that's question mark. But again, if our closer doesn't do what Darren Williams did last year and blow 7 games, again, there's a lot more to be hopeful about. So than last year. So that's
the thing with Chisholm, he's in the contract year.
Exactly.
So he's going to want
absolutely.
to get paid. And how many times does that happen where guys have these contract years and they go into oblivion? So this might be the year. Right? No, I think the Yankees are in a really good spot, and all these doomsdayers, I don't think they should be.
No. I mean, again, compare it to last season at this point. Which of these two teams have a better chance to make it to the World Series? I think this year than last year.
This year.
Absolutely. Last year we overachieved. After freaking Gary Cole going down, we're like, oh shit, here we go. Doom and gloom, baby. All right. So you know what? Before we move on to the next one, we gotta get off of baseball. Before we go to baseball, because I like this idea by McCormick. Let's pick 3 more division winners, right? Because I know where McCormick's going with it. He's probably gonna parlay this shit. You know what I mean? That's how he gets down. McCormick is one of our loyals, man. He's in football season. This guy's a degenerate gambler, and I think that's actually I might even put this on a slip myself. So we got the Yankees winning the AFC East. What other division you see a team winning hands down? We need 3 more. Kind of guaranteed. Dodgers for sure, and maybe that's not a high payout, but you throw it in there just for sure. So the Dodgers, that's another team. Give me another division for sure. The Dodgers. Which one else? We got in the American League. We have the Central, Detroit Tigers, Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Indians. That's kind of like a wild. That's
I wouldn't touch that division.
Me neither. That's a crapshoot, bro.
500.
Rangers, maybe. Seattle
Mariners.
Okay.
Yeah.
They went to a Game 7 last year. ALCS. Yeah. The Mariners.
Okay. All right. So we got the Mariners. Give me one more. Let's go to the let me see. Marlins, Mets, Braves. That division also kind of a little bit of a the Phillies. Philadelphia. Okay. All right. So let me write this down. Let's share this with the audience here because hey man, we're a show of the people. We got the Dodgers. All right. We have the who was the next one? We had the Texas, right? The Rangers.
Mariners. Seattle Mariners.
No, I'm sorry, Mariners. Mariners, I like that. All right. And last was what was the other team?
Philadelphia Phillies.
And the Phillies. All right. And the Phillies, man. Here we go. All right, peoples. If you want to bet some money,
Yeah, that'll
Seattle
be
Mariners. Yep.
Canadian,
If you want to bet
whatever.
some money, boys, this is where we're at. Let's show this on the screen here. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Wait a minute. There you go. Here you go. We got division winners right here. Let me go ahead and let me hide this down so we can put it nice and big over here. There we go. Division winners: Yankees, Dodgers, Mariners, and Phillies, baby. That's the prediction, opening day prediction here. Division winners, my friend. Book it, bet it at your own risk. Talking about your own risk, let's move off from baseball a little bit because now we start. Go ahead, Brett. You would say something.
Oh, I got nothing. Oh.
Because of course, man. This, here we get around, man. We get around, and our boy Tiger Woods was in.
I was hoping you guys would go here today.
I don't get how him and Justin Timberlake own a bunch of like restaurants. Right?
I mean,
how do they not call it fucking drinking and driving?
So it's the part that accepts you, right? These guys are so rich, right? And I get it. You don't want to take an Uber because you're well known, whatever. But there's services for billionaires and millionaires where they'll keep your identity completely secret, that you could have somebody and pay like $200 to pick you up from, your restaurant or the spot you're getting lit to go to your mansion, with true, non-disclosures and shit like this. There's services like this, that, they'll send you a nice little, sprinter, right? Where they could pick you up, with with no disclosure, right? They're not going to air out that they're picking Tiger Woods up because you're paying for that extra confidentiality, right? Come on, man.
Okay, so Eldrick wasn't drinking. I don't call him Tiger anymore. He's Eldrick.
Eldrick.
Yeah, Eldrick Woods, he blew a zero. Like he had zero alcohol.
He blew a zero.
And then they said, okay, take a piss test. He said, no.
No.
I ain't doing that. So that's when they took him downtown, charged him, let him out last night, and he got a nice little photo there.
Yeah.
Like,
but
it's
Florida law. So Florida law is that because driving under the influence is not just drinking; it's also being under the influence of other chemicals. Exactly. And cops can actually, if they see that reasonable suspicion, they do have the right for you to like, yo, can you piss over here, bro? And of course, you have the right to say no. And if you have money, you say no because your lawyer is gonna get you out within.
You'll find a way.
And then this is gonna go away. You know what I mean? So I actually got the video from the let's listen to the Florida sheriff here.
The Jupiter Island Police Department responded out there.
So this is what the Martin County sheriffs, all right, said after my boy Tiger, Eldrick, as he's known now, was all about. And then I also got some other pictures here.
Found a pickup truck pulling a pressure cleaner trailer and a Land Rover, which was rolled over on the driver's door. And we're going to provide you photos of that. The investigation started, and initially, right off the top, it did appear that the driver of the Land Rover might be impaired. And at that point, the Chief Ewing of Jupiter Island Police Department called me from the Martin County Sheriff's Office and asked for our assistance. It wasn't that the Jupiter Island Police Department isn't fully capable of doing these types of investigations, but quite frankly, the Sheriff's Office has a lot more repetitions in these traffic crashes and these types of investigations. Our investigation revealed as follows. Shortly again before 2, the pressure cleaner truck pulling a trailer, a small trailer, was northbound on South Beach Road and was pulling kind of to turn into a driveway. It was slowing down, starting to turn into a driveway, and the driver of that vehicle looked in his mirror and saw a Land Rover, a dark-colored Land Rover, overtaking him at high speeds, and I don't know those speeds. The Land Rover kept overtaking him. He saw it coming, so he tried to edge off to the side of the road, but this is a small 2-lane road, and there was no shoulder for this pressure cleaner gentleman to get off to the side of the road. As he was trying to move to the side of the road, the Land Rover overtook him at the last minute, swerved to avoid a collision, but clipped the back end of the trailer of the pressure cleaner apparatus, listed to the side, and then rolled on the driver's door north past the truck that had just avoided the crash with. The individual driving that Land Rover was able to crawl out the passenger door of the car and was identified to be Mr. Tiger Woods. Our DUI investigators came to the scene here, and Mr. Woods did exemplify signs of impairment. They did several tests on him. Of course, he did explain the injuries and the surgeries that he had. We did take that into account. But they did do some in-depth roadside tests. And when it was determined, he was placed under arrest and taken to the Martin County Jail. At the Martin County Jail, and even on scene, we really weren't suspicious of alcohol being involved in this case, and that proved to be true at the jail. So Mr. Woods did a breathalyzer test, blew triple zeros, but when it came time for us to ask for a urinalysis test, he refused, and so he's been charged with DUI, with property damage, and refusal to submit to a lawful test. In the crash, no one was injured. Mr. Woods did not seem to be injured at all, and the other gentlemen were not injured. But this happened a few hours ago, so I've given you the information that I have.
So here's the thing, because remember, he got stopped one time. He was on heavy medications, once already, back in 2016.
And he crashed the one in 2021.
And the one in 2020, even though it was unrelated, there was nothing in the system. That one, but that's where the reasonable suspicion comes in. And honestly, guys, look, Tiger Woods right now is living through his half Asian ethnicity here, bro, because he's having a hard time fucking driving here, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like, I gotta throw that in there, bro. But no, it's one of those things that's the reason why they pulled him in, because he's already been got pulled over once, and he wasn't drunk, but he was, the medication, when you take those, remember, he's taking some hard ass freaking drugs right now for pain, because of all his back injuries and all that kind of crap, dude. And I'm like, damn, Tiger, come on, bro. It's
pupils look a little dilated, maybe for some booger sugar, but
if it wasn't booger sugar, it was some strong Quaaludes. You know what I mean, or some something blue that he probably swallowed with a nice cup of water or prime liquid or something. You know what I mean? It's like,
I think what gets lost in this whole thing is the guy driving this pressure truck, pressure washer. That's not his truck. It's some guy making $15 an hour.
Yeah, exactly. The company's suing. Yeah.
So he's got to make a phone call to his boss because so I got a little situation here. Tiger Woods is climbing out of his Land Rover, and like his boss be like, "Shut up! What did you do to my fucking truck?"
Yeah.
So like that conversation should be like, "No, I'm serious." Tiger Woods tried to run me off the road. He's climbing out of his Land Rover. The cops did this. The truck should be okay, but his boss be like, "Shut up, man! You're at the fucking bar. That's how your truck got wrecked." Like, it's just so bizarre.
Right here, bro. And guess what, dude? This is going to be a company that probably has a certain liability insurance because it's a commercial vehicle. Oh, we're going after Tiger Woods insurance. And now I don't give a shit if Tiger Woods is drunk or not, bro. Your ass is going to say that he cut me off. You know what I mean? And that's when you be like, don't worry, that's all you got to say, man, because we're going to go sue the crap out of that. It's going to be some settlement for like a couple $100,000 and, extra revenue that year for that power washing company. You know what I mean? Which is owned by like one dude. You know what I mean? It's like there are a dime a dozen here in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I use one every year to power wash my damn roof because I'm not getting out on the roof. You know what I mean? Because my damn association hits me. But, that's what happened. Look at Tiger Woods, bro. He's in the back here. He has one leg up. Look. You see this shit? If you let me zoom into this picture here, man. He's over here in the corner on a phone call. Hold on a second. Let me he's over here in the corner. Look at that. Right there, bro. Look at Tiger. He's over there in the corner making a phone call. What is he doing with like one leg? Like he's not wearing shorts. I think he's wearing pants. And that's like one of his pants up. Is that shorts? I don't know, man. That dude's still jack as shit.
He's calling his plug.
Yeah. So that's where we're at, man. I mean, it's just news because it's Tiger Woods. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so what year was it when he got caught cheating? Was that what, 2008?
Oh my gosh, yeah,
It's a long time ago now.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you think of the chances he's had since then, and and I've said this before, the only mistake Tiger Woods made in his life up to that point
was cheating.
Was getting married.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? If he didn't get married in 2000, whatever it was, to Elon, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
People would have been like, yeah, he's out doing this and doing that. He's single. He's rich beyond belief. Do whatever he wants. If he didn't get married, all that other stuff wouldn't have happened. If you think like you just like, what if? And was that a publicity stunt? I still kind of think it was. Just they wanted to make him more white, as awful as that sounds. But I think that was all part of it, and just how it all turned out for him. And then Jim, you've talked about this in the past on your show. Is how many we put these guys on pedestals, and they're bigger morons than we are.
Yeah,
this guy's got all the money in the world. If you're with somebody,
he gave his ex-wife $100 million.
Eldrick, right? If you're friends with Eldrick and you know he's taking these pills, and you know they're going to impair your driving, why don't you, as the guy with him, say, hey, just give me the keys, I'll drive. Then all this gets avoided. Then you're not tailgating some guy just trying to pressure wash somebody's roof so the fucking HOA don't go after you, because God forbid you do it your fucking self. But whatever, maybe this doesn't happen. You have all this money in the world, and you think like the biggest morons. I don't know, whatever.
This is what McCormick
You
said in the
wouldn't have seen
chat.
this with John Daly. That's all
No.
I'm saying. And that guy drinks all day.
This is what McCormick said in the chat. He's gonna make a rap song next. Just pop some pills and have his ex-wives beat him with some golf
Well,
clubs.
don't forget,
Go wreck a
Tiger
range.
Woods did get drafted in the Dave Chappelle racial draft.
Yes,
Didn't
absolutely.
get drafted to the black team, so
Check it out, bro. This is Tiger Woods. Let me share this one. Tiger Woods golf. His last like 15 years. There you go. Bam. Yeah, Tony Soprano. We got.
he actually golfs on that thing on ESPN where it's like a virtual reality, like golf league or some shit.
Yeah, he was doing good with that, dude. He came. That's his comeback.
Now I wonder if they pull him from that because of this.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's the whole reason why that league is being well known is because it's Tiger
he was
Woods.
supposed to play at the Masters again. And he wondered because the Masters doesn't fuck around. They'll be like, no, you're not going to.
There he got a bad boy down there for that.
Right.
Stepford.
Yep, that's right.
They maybe don't want him around. I don't know. Because they don't like bad publicity. But Tiger Woods, no matter what, still, for some reason, draws eyeballs.
Yeah.
He's not that's cute. Him and Diddy, that's nice.
That was his night in jail. His night in jail right there. It was the memes were on fire, bro. After this happened, dude. I mean, it's the internet remains undefeated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny about the whole thing?
Yeah.
Do you think Tiger Woods really gives a flying fuck?
No,
That guy's rolling around in his mattress with all the women he wants, with all the money spread out. And he goes, whatever. You know what? It won't even go to court because Tiger Woods is friggin'
He's got to settle right now, dude.
Here's the check.
Yeah.
I'll sign it. Put the amount you want. Here we go, and it's done.
I can't drive for 6 weeks, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, and in this one, they're not gonna, they give him like a temporary license, but his lawyer's already like, this is not gonna go in front of the judge. We're gonna go ahead and throw this out. He's gonna do his little schooling, whatever. Bang, he's out. He's out. Doesn't matter.
What's crazy is how all this, because this isn't new.
No,
all this stuff it's new. Now in the TMZ world, which is all of a sudden that's 20.
Yeah, TMZ just does the narrative just because that's what they do. They pedal
because now everybody's got a phone. This was happening back when Mickey Mantle played for the fucking Yankees.
Oh,
absolutely, right? It's just that now we just hear about it.
And back then, because you're right, nobody had a phone. You know what the cops told Mickey Mantle? Don't worry, Mick, go leave the car over here, man. We'll fucking drive it over to your house,
Get
man.
me a couple of tickets. We'll
worry
about it later.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Listen, as a matter of fact, hey, he'll call another cop. Hey, can you drive Mickey home? You know what I'm saying, dude? Drive Mickey home, and
baseball for my kid.
Another guy's gonna go ahead and gotta drive your car home. The world, nobody knew that shit because Mickey Mantle was blasted, bro, every single day. Yeah. You know, when these guys would play and they would go out and drink like crazy after the games. You know what I mean? Because they were drinking for free everywhere. You know what I mean? They not have a lot of money, but they were not paying for anything. So, like I said, Tiger Woods, hey man, still one of the greatest golfers of all time, though. Doesn't take anything away from that.
But I think we got to remember that he's a golfer, right?
Yeah. He's a golfer.
I think Charles Barkley said it best. That's a lot of years ago too. I'm not a role model. I'm a basketball player, and I think that's kind of got. I think you've talked about before.
Yeah, no, dude.
Show you, man. Like these guys, like your parents should be your role model.
Exactly.
Like that. I've heard you say that a number of times, and you're a golfer, man.
If my
it's great,
kids,
it's entertainment, but
if my kids are idolizing a player, right, and living, that's the person I want to be, and I want to, I'm like, then I felt miserably as a parent. You know what I mean? I felt miserably as a freaking parent because guess what? That's not real life. You know what I mean? I set an example for my kids and the way that I raise them, to be, citizens, that contribute and live a moral life. That's on me, right? You know what I mean? Because until the age that they're adults and they can make their own decisions. You know what I mean? These are the things that you kind of, always being an old parent, this is one of the things you kind of incorporate early on. You know what I mean? So again, Barkley said it best. We're not role models. You don't have your kids look up to us because it's true. They're athletes.
Like with Barkley, like he was one of the guys who
commercial
started taking Tiger out all over. So all these girls want you, man. Spend. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want to do. Right.
And he is one of the most successful individuals, man, because in fact that just not making the money that he made was all because of his greatness, not on the golf course, right? That was mice nuts, right? All the money was the endorsements because that's, he was that's who he was, man. And, he still has, again, this league that he's playing, whatever that bullshit league, that's all him. It's his team is there. If Tiger Woods was not back in this league, right, and being the name of it, that nobody's got to watch his shit. I
don't think anybody's really watching it now to begin with. But,
no, whatever viewers is getting is because Tiger Woods is there pumping his fist. So
yeah, like it's fun to, like, we talk sports all the time. It's fun to but the game's over, like, you're mad and you're pissed off and you might do whatever. There's idiots who smash their TVs, but you still got to go to work tomorrow morning.
Absolutely,
right?
Man.
Like, it's fun to talk like this. I love it, but it's just to idolize these people and think that they.
Yep.
And another thing, to think that they give a fuck about you.
They don't.
Is a bigger thing.
No,
they don't give a. They don't know. I'll never meet them. They don't know who I am. So
they do not. They do not.
You think he gives a shit right now? We're talking about him.
No.
Nah, he's getting sucked off by some masseuse.
Yeah.
Remember, he's dating what's her name? Kai Trump, the mother of his of Donald Trump's daughter, who's, by the way, who's a golfer herself too. The ex from one of the Trump kids. So guess what? You think he gives a shit about that? I was like, no, man. It's like that's who he's dating right now consistently. So, and then it's funny because they associate. Oh, Kai Trump was they put her name on this whole thing. I was like, why are you even bringing her name up, bro? That's not even his kid. It's his mother's kid. You know what I mean, dude? It's like, but again, the memes are undefeated, bro. These guys are just fucking awesome. Oh man. And boys, never a dull moment in sports, man. Even in the off season here, even in the slow time of the year, right? It's even the slow time of the year, man. Oh man. So let me ask you a question, Brent. Right now, what's the pulse for I guess any of the, and let's stay in baseball, any of the Toronto Blue Jays in Canada? What's the
well, they've already anointed him the World Series champion.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's and granted, like when the Jays are hot, baseball's great.
It's a good thing.
Like, people jump on it, and it's such a like, baseball's a regional game, right? No matter what. Like, you live in New York, you got the Yankees. You live in Kansas, you follow the Royals. The Toronto Blue Jays have Canada.
Yes,
the whole thing, and the people are behind it. They won their first 2 games, and people are on it. Is it unrealistic? Yeah, because they kind of got on a heater last year out of nowhere. They're expected to win 80 some games, and all of a sudden they didn't go into the World Series, end up a crazy inning away from winning the whole thing. And so people think that's automatically going to get back. I don't. I know it's not that easy, but people just think it's automatic. Do I hope that they can continue? Yeah, but I don't think they will. It's just it's too hard, and like, everybody's kind of putting off losing Bo Bichette. I think that's bigger than people are gonna.
Yeah,
and I don't blame Bichette once again for making that decision, leaving, because he's making more than Aaron Judge. But I think every team that passed on him was like, okay, yeah, if someone's gonna give it to you, go take it, because he's not better than Aaron Judge. He's just not. And so, $42 million.
And the Mets are doing the most Yankee thing as well.
Overpaying.
They have him playing out of position.
Yeah.
Which is a huge improvement this year from last year, because you're not asking guys to play out of position right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
With the Yankees, so that's also a huge plus.
What's funny, Brent, about the Toronto Blue Jays, right? Because the Toronto Blue Jays, like you said, baseball is local, right? Everybody, it's the fan base and the local. But the Toronto Blue Jays is one of the few teams, right, that and I gotta go hit the comments real quick here. I see some comments here. The Toronto Blue Jays are also one of those teams that outside of Toronto are rooted not by fans of the team, but fans of players, right?
Yeah.
When you were and remember when they were successful in the 90s, it was fans of like the Joe Carters of the world, right? They rooted for that.
Whamco was White, Alomar, Molitor,
exactly.
Carter,
the Alomars of the world, because and then Vladimir Guerrero fans, the big Dominican following, right? Because of that. So there's a lot of players that they root for, a lot of the Toronto players, because you got players that are, like I said, Puerto Rican, Dominican, and then you got some other guys from the United States also that. And fans gravitate to that, and that's why they're one of the blue bloods in baseball. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though they're not an American team, but however, they've had enough success, but they have enough stars that pull from the certain regions and countries that people do follow and become Toronto Blue Jays fans, even though they're not in Toronto, even though they're not, it's complete because they root for players.
Toronto's got a huge ethnic population. It's not just a bunch of old white guys. Like
Yeah, no, it is.
It's huge, a huge ethnic, every ethnicity. But yeah, so it's they follow it.
They do.
Great. So yeah,
they do.
They're not going to win fuck all.
No, they're not.
I hope not. Anyways.
All right, guys, and now we get to that time of the show where we gotta we like to fuck around and watch some some funny videos here, and where we go to I gotta get back to the intro, but we go down the rabbit hole of the internet, and we review some shit here. Ready? As a bunch of Generation X guys that we all are, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We love humor, and a lot of these videos that just pop up my feed, man, that just from TikTok are just funny shit. You know what I mean? That just happens in sports, but also in regular life that we kind of relate. So, let me with that being said, man, let me play some shit and let's get some laughs here. This is the first one is a nice imitation of and this is a little basketball here. Anthony Carl. What is it? Cat. Carl Anthony Towns from the New York Knicks. Zesty as he can be. That's he's very zesty, man. You know what I mean? Here's another funny guy. This guy right here. These guys play a lot of they white guy and a black guy get together. Oh man. So this guy right here is a local Miami guy. He made a really good example of when Tua about what the whole point of Tua a whole stint in Miami. Look at this. Hold on a second. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
And the handicap.
I didn't put it up there.
Obviously, it's good news that we no longer have a mentally and physically incapacitated starting QB. But now we have to sit back like O.J. Simpson and watch this guy drive around town with his boyfriend in a Lambo that we paid for. In true Miami fashion, it only took the front office 7 years to realize the toxic relationship that we were in. Tua was like your prototypical toxic Colombian girlfriend. Every once in a while, she eats your ass like it's a bag of groceries and makes you feel like it's love. But deep down, you knew she was never going to fill those emotional voids. Can you imagine being so bad that all the Santeria and Hialeah couldn't help this guy win a fucking playoff game? I knew one Bancero that put his Tua jersey on the Santa Barbara statue. By week 7, the statue took it off. Anyone who saw this from afar would think that Tua got the concussions, but that the front office suffered the CTE. Given that we gave him a max contract with $56 million guaranteed, the year after he got initiated into Latin Kings in the middle of a game. This is a very special me cago en tu madre to Eric Omepinga that said, tank for Tua! You rooted for a guy to be our franchise QB that'll never start on another NFL team again. Having a friend that was Team Tua is similar to having a friend that was Team Biden. It doesn't mean you have to stop talking to him. He just shouldn't be able to vote. Now, like the other 20 breakups that we've had, we have to figure out how to pick up the pieces of our fucking heart and further add to our fucking body count. Open up a profile on Tinder, open up a profile on Hinge, two of fans open one on Grindr, all in search of the next person who's gonna let us down. Hopefully this new guy Malik can hold us over till we figure something out. At least he's actually black, so at a minimum, we know we have a real athlete. There's not much to go off, I looked. He killed it against shitty colleges at Liberty, and then he tore it up during the preseason last year. But excuse me if I'm a little pessimistic for the moment. Being a Dolphins fan is emotional gambling. Every few years we convince ourselves this is the guy. And then the house wins again. So I'm not sure whether it's good news yet, but the Dolphins...
I didn't realize I didn't have the screen up, guys. Let me play the previous video. Hold on.
I got a white friend. Of course he doesn't know what I'm making.
Chicken.
How did you know?
It's never not been chicken.
I make other things.
Really? Really?
I make steak.
What's that? Turn around real quick for me. What's out on the table?
Nothing.
You really? I get a black friend. Of course he's taking pictures of his chicken like it's his kids, dude.
Mike, I'm tracking the calories, idiot.
Really? Oh, you know, honestly, you're right. You wouldn't be taking pictures of your kid because you would have left years ago.
How racist can one man really be, huh?
February's over, brother. We're on to March. Your time is come and gone.
Get out of my house.
Okay. Can I take the food that you... Okay.
So how's the chicken? Exactly. Shut the fuck up.
Italians
Shut the fuck
are
up.
like the blacks of the whites.
You stole that from me, asshole.
That made no sense. Good chicken, though.
I got a white friend. Of course.
Oh, man. Here we go, bro. Remember when Bam scored 83 points the other day? Like a couple of weeks ago?
Who would have thought I'd score 83 points in a game for the second most ever?
Nobody. Now get your Johnson out.
Excuse me, Adam?
You heard me, Bam. Johnson out. You're getting drug tested, buddy. You're not good enough to pass the Mamba.
I mean, it was against the Wizards.
I don't care if it was against the Special Olympics team. I'm not buying it. And to make sure you don't try to pull a fast one, I'm also going to need a sample of your hair, shit, blood, vomit, and semen.
I'm not giving you a semen sample.
Yes, you are. Dwight, get him.
I'm tired of being the gay butt of the jokes.
I'll give you yayo.
Give me a wiener to snort it off of and you got yourself a deal. Who would have thought I'd score 83 points?
Dude, I mean, Dwight Howard is still getting fucking pulled into all this shit too, man. Here's a new Kobe mural in LA.
How dare someone paint this mural? Don't worry, Kobe. I will avenge you. Jason, what are you doing?
I'm defacing this mural to defend Kobe's honor. But I'm here to defend Kobe's honor. Well, I got here first. Plus, I read Kobe's meat way harder than you.
No way. I changed my jersey number to 8 for Kobe.
I wore his number in the Olympics.
I have his poster hanging above my bed.
I have a life-size cutout of him in my shower. You two need to quit being so gay for me. It's weird. Now leave this mural alone. Who cares if Bam passed me for second best at something? But Mamba, no buts. Get going.
Yes, Mamba.
Fuck you, Bam. How dare someone...
Oh shit, dude. Here's the Max Crosby deal. Ready?
Welcome to Baltimore, Max. How was your flight? It was terrible. I had to sit between two fat girls that took all the elbow room, and then there was a bunch of Indians eating Indian food.
There was? No way. Man, I can't believe our team treated you like that. I'd understand if you canceled the trade.
Nope, I'm committed to Baltimore.
Damn. Well, let's take you to dinner. So how's your dinner, Max?
I'm pretty sure this is a shit.
Say what? Man, I'm starting to think this city doesn't want you. You probably want to cancel the trade now, huh?
No way. They'll love me once I play.
Damn. Well, let's get you to your physical.
Never had a physical like that before. Did the prostate exam really require the doctor's whole fist?
Yep, that's how we do it in Baltimore, and it's every day. You probably definitely want to cancel the trade now, huh, Max?
Nope, I'm never going back to Vegas.
Doctor, do something.
Looks like I have to fail you, Max. Turns out your booty is too loose.
Oh, no. Guess we have to send you back. Now get out. Welcome to Baltimore, Max. How's...
Oh, man. Oh, shit, man. That one day we got to hit this with more. Some more stuff about this trade's got to come out. You know what I mean, dude? He already kind of like spread it out there, bro. Here we go. Oh, God. Oh, shit, man. Yeah, that's fucked up, bro. I got a couple more. Ready? I think
funny. That's good.
I think every husband, every wife or husband kind of dealt with this.
You remember the good old days when we used to be able to have a conversation without being interrupted by somebody?
I remember the good old days when you used to wear underwear that I could floss with. Now you wear underwear I can parachute with.
Remember the good old days?
I got one more.
And it was all yellow. And it was all yellow.
Shit, man.
I am so glad I don't have to get ID'd for shit.
You know, it's funny. I don't get ID for anything anymore, bro.
No, Jesus, no.
I don't, and my shit's expired. I just don't go to the DMV.
Really?
Yeah, fuck it.
You don't? Your license expired?
Yeah.
No shit, dude.
Yeah, it's been expired for we're going about 4 months now.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
There's a grace period in there somewhere. I mean,
it's a grace period. It's whenever I feel like going to the DMV.
You cannot do it on. Yeah, you can renew it online.
Yeah, I could, but
Yeah.
nah, I
Dude,
don't feel like doing it.
I avoid every DMV visit as much as I can, dude.
Or I could ask my buddy's girlfriend who works at the DMV. Yeah, do this for me. I'll just fucking Venmo you the money.
Oh, dude,
that's just I don't like that grown up stuff very much. Like,
man, dude. Nah, my wife's taking
because the 7-Eleven by me now, for whatever reason, now you have to have photo ID, right? So I have photo ID, but it's expired, and then on it says you can't have expired ID. So I go in there and I was grabbing because they had cigars in there, not good ones, but whatever.
That
So
7-Eleven.
I'm like, yeah, let me get the 4-pack of this shit over there. And they're like, I need to see ID. I said, listen, it's expired. And they're like, all right. And they put the little password in to override it. And I'm like, look, I got grays in my beard now. You don't have to ask me for fucking ID. I'm like, I'm 44 years old. Enough.
That
But
7-Eleven
I
is
also got it. You got to do your job. So
that 7-Eleven is racist, dude. They should not be asking you for ID, bro.
I feel it's ageism.
You should claim racism for that, bro.
You know what?
I think the last time I was asked for ID, I said, "Can I see yours, please?" And then that went away pretty quick.
No, it's funny.
That was done.
Here, I mean, when you buy liquor, even though they know you're old as fuck by law here, the store, even at the supermarket, right? Like Publix is the big chain here. It's like, dude, I'm old. I was like, yeah, no, I ain't got it. We just have to plug, like you said, like the 7-Eleven guy, they have to ask you for ID and they got to plug it in and put the year and shit like that every time you go buy a fucking 12-pack of beer.
Well, Yankee Stadium, like the times I've been there, doesn't matter who you are, everybody. Yeah. Like you could be a 90-year-old grandma getting a Bud Light, whatever. They ask everybody, so there's no questions. So I get it. It just makes it.
Listen, dude, IDs have been part of like buying liquor now for ages.
At Yankee Stadium, I get ID'd the first time, and then I make sure to go back to the same.
If you go back to the same
venue, get ID'd again.
Yeah, same thing. And usually the stadium. I'm trying to think. Did they ever ask for ID at the stadium? I don't remember. But
they do.
Before we close this off, have you guys seen that 9-9 challenge? Some stadiums are having.
I was hoping this is another one you would brought up. I've seen it. I've seen real ones, but
yes,
was it the Mets?
Yeah, the Mets have it. It's 9 beers, 9 hot dogs,
9 hot dogs,
and 9 innings.
Whatever the other thing.
Somebody did it with just one king can, and the beer was like a sampler at a brewery. So
really? Is that what they give you?
Well, that's what this one. I can't remember which one it was.
Okay.
It was 9. Oh yeah, let's drink 9 beers. Hey,
dude, 9 beers at the stadium is what? At $16,
16, yeah,
15, 16 bucks. And depending on the stadium is like 18 to 20. You know what I mean, dude? It's like shit, man. That's an expensive outing and the hot dogs too. It's like shit, man. I mean,
hot dog's not $5.
No,
right?
No. It was funny, right? Because baseball was the cheapest sporting outing you could take your family to, right? Because the tickets were cheap, and then the concessions were expensive, but it didn't break the bank. You know what I mean? I remember I went to a lot of baseball games because it was fortunate enough to grow up. Somebody in the family always had season tickets for the Mets or for the Yankees. We had family our family was split down the middle. We had, like I said this before, I grew up in Brooklyn. I had family in Jersey, family in the Bronx. All of us were Yankee fans. And then the family that lived in Long Island and Jackson Heights were all Mets fans. And there was always somebody that had season tickets. You know, anybody that owns season tickets for a baseball team never watches, like, maybe the most they'll watch is 25 games. So what do you do with the tickets? Back then, you couldn't just go out and put them online and sell them. And you didn't have the time to go and scalp them. So a family member always, hey, yo, come pick up the tickets here. You know, and I remember my dad's cousin used to, he had a store in Roosevelt Avenue, which is right off on 103rd. So I would go there, take the train. This is in the summertime. You know, I would take the train from Brooklyn, go to my cousin's store. Hey, I got the tickets. Get back on the 7th train. Go watch a Mets game. You know what I mean? Because when you were a kid, yeah, you're a Yankee fan. But, dude, watching a live back then, especially when you were a teenager, dude, 14, 15, man, watching a baseball game in the summertime was just like tradition. You know what I mean? And the Yankee ones, that was like, when it was a Yankee, shit, man, my cousin owned them. So I used to one year I actually helped. I was part of the owner. Like I gave him a piece and I had 1 ticket for myself. And I remember most of the time, it's like, I think I went to watch maybe 20 games that year, because it's a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Drive to the damn stadium, it was from Brooklyn or taking the train. Dude, by the time the game is over at 10:30, 11 o'clock, right, you're going to get home until like 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah, that's a commitment. That's a hell of a commitment.
So, but that 999 shit is, number one, you're encouraging somebody to get hammered and probably drive home intoxicated. So it's
yeah.
Now, I wouldn't mind trying it 15 years ago when I was in drinking shape. I probably would have taken a crack at it. I would have taken a crack at it. I think I would have taken a crack at it. I would have definitely tried my best to pound 9 beers. You know what I mean? If that was back in the wild, I had no responsibilities kind of shit. But now it's like, shit, I think if I have 2 hot dogs and 2 beers, I'm like,
have a nap.
I'm done, man.
It'd be nap time in the third inning.
It'll be like, get out of here, bro. I can't.
If I did the 999 challenge, I'm out of commission for a week.
Yeah.
It's like, I think if the Marlins Stadium would have that, I would have to ask my wife for permission, and I would have to stay locally, like around. Well, there's nowhere to stay locally here in that area. You know what I mean? So it's like, shit, man. I would have to take a day. I would take, first of all, take the day off from work, the day off, right? Because I got to prepare myself, and the day after, so I'll be watching a Thursday night game. You know what I mean? Staying locally at a hotel, taking an Uber from the damn stadium to the hotel, so I could just stay there. And the next day I will go home. That's just the way.
$700.
Yeah, no, exactly. That whole thing. Yeah, that whole game that I paid $35 for a ticket will cost me $700.
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh man, Brent, we appreciate you, brother, man. As always, man. Great show. Thank you for the content, bro. I mean, great. We love having your Yankee output and your baseball output, man. Tell the folks, man, where they can find you, what you're up to lately, and all that good stuff, man.
The 1420 Sports Bar podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. And then so got a podcast a couple times a week, and then the wife every other week we do the voice of reason. She comes on and tells me how dumb I am and how smart she is. Yeah, and then it works out really well on her side because I can't really badmouth her, so she can say whatever she wants, and I just nod. That's the way it goes. So no,
dude, my wife.
Yeah,
my wife would never do that because she'll disown me. She doesn't even watch my podcast because she knows how I get down. You know what I mean? So she's like, "You're stupid."
And she comes back and says, "That was wrong. That was wrong. That was stupid." Yeah, I know.
But it's good, man. It's good that you and your wife have that in common. That's nice. That's nice.
I've tried to get the ex-Mrs. fan in the van to do one, and she's like, "Nope," because it'll just lead to argument. I mean, it would be great content. Watch us argue on YouTube Live, but I've been doing it in the same room. Who knows what fucking one might try to choke the other at that point.
Plus, my wife is. Go ahead.
She's on the second floor of the house. I'm down in the basement when we do this, so there's a little bit of a buffer in there when it's all said and done.
Just like here, I'm outside, right? We have a hurricane.
Here, you go there, and then
we have hurricane impact windows, so it's the noise doesn't go in there. My kids are watching TV. It's like. It's funny, man. But that's actually good. I wanted to congratulate you for that because that's really a good thing, man. It's you're a brave man.
Every couple of weeks, I put the big boy pants on and we do it. So that's kind of
that's nice. That's nice.
And then she texts Brent after. She goes, "I didn't agree with what you said. Sleep downstairs tonight."
Yeah, stay downstairs.
No, in my case, you're sleeping in the guest room too. I'm like, I'll be out there for a week.
The couch is made.
Sometimes it's not bad. I mean. Yeah, I got Hulu up there and all that kind of shit.
I got 4 TVs down here. So
your setup is definitely elite, my friend. That Yankee Tavern is fucking elite, my friend. It's by far one of the best Yankee caves, bro. Man caves out there that I've seen anywhere, man. So
thank you. Yeah.
All right, my man.
This is fun, boys. I really appreciate it. We'll do it again.
You got it, my man. We'll definitely catch you next time. We'll definitely bring you on throughout the baseball season, bro. You're always welcome. You know that, bro. You're a brother from the north, man, and you're always welcome in our house.
There we go. Cheers, guys.
All right, cheers. With that being said, your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast, and always with my man
Jim from the Fan in the Van Podcast.
And thank you, my friend Bren. We will see you next time. Yo, peace out.
Yo.